Welcome back to our coverage here on the West Coast Ball Connection, the 2022 TJBL Southern Conference Grand Final Day, Game 3. Welcome to our new link. Of course, apologies there. We had some slight technical difficulties and have had to restart on a brand new link as Ronnie comes back with water bottle duties. I better give you some volume there, Ronnie. We've managed to encounter a couple of wee Wi-Fi issues there as we'd actually run out of power in the Wi-Fi box. But
yes, we did.
We are back. We are on for the second link and pretty much the second half of our day here of games. This is the under-16s, I am led to believe, Ronnie?
Yeah, under-16 Division 1 boys here, JB, and this should be a good matchup. Glenorchy taking on Hobart here, and of course Hobart with some very familiar names to me. Obviously Hobart being my home club, of course, JB, trying to keep everything non-biased here, of course, so just to put the disclaimer out there.
Just to prove that I'm not biased, I'm going to tell you that I have an inherent bias.
Yeah, thank you very much, JB.
But no, it should be a good game, as you mentioned there, Ronnie. Two clubs going hard up against each other. Brad Simmons, Chris Simons, coaching battle as well should be interesting. Scotty Daly on the assistant down there as well, former senior coach. Jack Woolcock and Jordan Peel are your referees for this one. And this one started off with a flurry. Ayrton chopping in the corner, can't get that one to fall.
And it'll be interesting. I'll be interested to see how Ayrton goes, because Ayrton was very, it's fair to say, disappointed that he didn't make the under-16 state side as well too, JB. So he's going to try and prove a point out here today and probably show the selectors why he should have been in that team.
A proverbial fire lit under his backside as Joel Cooper there has not been able to save that one there. Taj Queen on the inbound there. A few pretty familiar faces to myself here. Through Swisher and other ventures as well. This should be a good contest, Ronnie. And what are we expecting here from both sides? Obviously a competitive game nonetheless.
Hobart are really, up and in on what they do defensively, and offensively to have a very good set that Chris tries to make this team run. But meanwhile for Glenorchy are one of those teams that really just scrap hard, they work hard, and they find ways of proving why they're one of the top teams in the under-16 competition. So, Hobart in a bit of a matchup zone here, or zone to some degree here. So, as Joel Cooper fires that one, and Joel Cooper will be one to watch here today as well too. He was on the cusp of making the under-16 state side as well too, and unfortunately he didn't make it, but he's certainly shown he's a very good quality player. So I expect something good from him today. Simons puts it up, but can't get that to go though.
And Lockie Simons having a couple of injury rows throughout the season too, Ronnie, so great to see him out on the floor.
It's nice to see Lockie back out there. I know, he's battled tough this year with a couple of injuries, but as you mentioned, and good ball movement there by the Spartans, by the Rebels. But yeah, really nice to see Lockie out there today, and he's going to be backing it up in the 18s as well too, playing some pitch minutes there as well. So, really happy for him getting his opportunity today.
Ball through sets of hands here. That'll be Ollie Cunningham saving that one. Over to Simons himself. Wants to go. Goes over to Taj Queen. Needs to get a shot up. Prayer not answered. Is it though? Launched unsuccessfully there by Hobart. That one there by Alex McMillan as we go the other way now through the Revellers. It was Goodwin. Kicks that one over to Linden. Can't get that one to fall. Cleared away by Queen.
So we should see a few more three-pointers go up in this game, JB, because the older age groups, they're more intent on that three-point ball. So, but I still expect some old-school stuff as well too, getting to the rim, and hopefully a few post moves as well too, chopping from deep.
Yeah, Chrissy Simons, again, a veteran of Hobart basketball. And that was a nice outlet pass. Cooper recovers that steadily as he goes to just slow down a little bit here. 0-0. Don't see much of that in the game anymore. Drive taken by Linden, fading sideways unsuccessfully.
And that's not a bad look as well too, JB. Nice little spin move in, and then that shot just couldn't drop there for him.
So ball going through sets. Of course, you are joining the West Coast Ball Connection. The basket drops for Hobart.
And yeah, Chris asking for a little bit of up the court pressure here, and trying to get them trapped on the half there, but they've dropped back here now. But a good finish there by Lockie Simons on that floater.
Goodwin now with the ball, goes back in turn over to Cooper. 2-0 our scoreline here. Slow start. No, look, pass, deserves a bucket. Draws contact twice Fogarty will go to the line. And that's not a bad way to just try and get on the board here for Glenorchy.
Yeah, and good patience there by Glenorchy as well too. Again, good little no-looker there by Joel. Obviously watching a bit of Jason Williams highlights throughout the week, no doubt. And again, good up fake, and really got the Phoenix boys had to scramble on that. So, really Hobart can't afford to scramble. Chris wouldn't be happy with that defensive possession on that one.
2-0 our scoreline, as we mentioned. First points on the board, unable to come here for Glenorchy. Second chance opportunity. Lovely basket there, and the score's through Goodwin.
I have a funny feeling, again, this Glenorchy crowd will play some part in this game, JB, whether that's going to be a handy few extra points for the Rebs and whatnot here. But they'll certainly ride off this crowd. Simo wants a timeout. I think he senses something wrong here, so this will be a good timeout called by Chris Simons.
As Pearton managed to get that one over the top there to Linden, who couldn't get the score. Now through Simons again over to Chopping. It goes over the top to Queen, who steps through nicely. Long athletic body, gets the finish there.
Looks like Hamish McIver is going to come into the game as well too here, JB. But a good move there by Taj Queen. And as you mentioned, he's been working hard on his game down at Swisher Hoops Academy. Seen him most Saturdays before I have to come up and coach throughout the season. So yes, no doubt he was in there this morning.
Often see him in during the week as well. Cooper, corner three, floated along, didn't get that one to go. Queen just a little unsteady. Over to Simons. Just looking to get through sets of hands here as well. A big step up. Get out of here. That drive unsuccessful there for Cunningham. Revellers on the transition now through Cooper, just looking to slow things down a little bit. Oh, the no-look almost bounced past through traffic. Contact was made there by Queen, who disagrees vehemently with the whistle by referee Peel, and that will send Fogarty to the line.
And right now, Tarch just needs to keep his emotions in check. That's his second personal now, and Chris is having a quiet word with him there, but getting a little bit frustrated there, young Taj. So he's again right now. You just got to keep a cool head. 2 fouls early in this game really makes it tough now with Hobart's height. But again, Chris will find a way here to get these boys firing. So right now, early stages here, and Brad. Back it up again. So under 12s, under 16s.
Absolutely, got the break in the under 14s. Of course, Timmy Hughes getting the win, and it's been a revelling day, so to speak, Ronnie. Both wins in the 12s and 14s going to Glenorchy. Of course, those first two matchups saw Wolves and Revs. You can see that on our West Coast Ball Connection channel on our first link. Of course, internet issues meaning we have just restarted this, but concurrent views and total views bumping up the charts once again, and we have had some quality games of basketball early on. The under 10s was under 12s was an absolute ripper, and the Wolves just threw the kitchen sink at the Revellers there in the last quarter, but just to no avail on the scoreboard, unfortunately, as they came up short there. But there's been a tremendous standard of junior basketball here early, and really setting a precedent not only for the day, but certainly for the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's been a good day so far, and I've just noticed here, Taj Queen's still out on the floor, so Chris Simons putting a lot of trust here in Taj to make sure he doesn't pick up his third, because if he picks up his third, he will have a trip to the bench.
Yep, and it could be an extended break on the bench too. Last thing you want in a final is one of your key, if not your best player, sitting on the pine with extended foul minutes as he fights through contact there over to Chopping. Substitutions have come into the game here for Hobart. Checking into this one,
Hamish McIver.
As well, Hamish McIver.
And that is young.
And Moses Tashara.
Yes.
As well. So there's McIver for the corner three. Can't that get one to go as Queen gets his way in. Over to McIver once again. Good little jump stop and a nice hook shot.
Yeah, Hammer's been doing a good job this season, and really been working hard on that inside presence. So really good to see Hammer get that too.
It's a ball again through hands of Joel Cooper, who's the general of this team. They want him to score and facilitate as well, and he's got a great keen eye vision as well. Shot goes up for the Revs. That one was up through us. I'm just trying to look on our score sheet there. Yes, through Nibs. That one was unable to drop.
Yes. Her mother come up and saw me earlier before the game, JB, saying she's going to make an old noise today.
Taj Queen just floating through there. That one's gone off there, and a sense of frustration. And if you are the Revellers, you do want to take advantage of that as well. If you've got a key player off, as there's now a warning.
Yeah, behaviour warning on Taj Green. So again, so he'll have to be very careful now. And again, like I say, when you get to the under 16s and under 18s level, the emotions and the behaviour can change a little bit.
And the standard is expected.
And that's right. So right now, just got to keep a cool head here and just play your way through it.
Cooper, bit of a screen there, but an inside easy look there for Fogarty. He wasn't able to get that one. Queen clears up, avoids the foul. Smart play there, good rebounding. 6-3 our scoreline. And we've got an out-of-bounds whistle by the looks of it. Substitutions coming into the game here for Hobart. Toby Lange, and substitutions here as well. Number 60, Jack Maddock.
Yeah, so Hobart took a gamble on that last possession defensively and left the Glenorchy player wide open. So, again, they have to make sure they really work hard if they're going to double and take the gamble on that. So, different lineup here now for head coach Chris Simons, and see what this five can do out on the floor here.
Big shot there by the Revellers. That one hits the bottom of the net nicely for James Linden.
Yeah, James Linden is not a bad shooter from my understanding and has been shooting the ball at an okay rate.
And there's good defensive recovery there as well between himself and Cooper.
So he's going to work hard in this game, no doubt.
Wanted to split the defenders, couldn't get that back over to Cooper in front of the home crowd. Wants to utilise the pass, goes inside, nibs himself up and under, unable to get that one down as well. Tashara now. In turn, McIver. Sorry, no, that wasn't McIver. That was Queen. Over to Tashara once again. Stop, pop, shot, drops there for Simons.
Yeah.
And that is a 9-6 lead now to Hobart.
Yeah, nice look there by Lockie Simons. Just knocking down that three ball with some good confidence as well too. So good look off that set there for Hobart.
A bit of a no-look pass there to Shara with a nice, good bit of defence there. Has support there through Lang. And gets friendly roll too. That one teetered very precariously on top of the rim.
Absolutely, like it was, if you could turn back time on that one, JB, where that ball was hanging on that ring.
Definitely turn back time. They managed to find a way, and it was all the ways they could hurt the Revs, they would say, as Tashara wants the deflection. Save there, though, by the Revellers, who have 8 seconds to plenty of time to get the shot up. They're counting it down. Nibs feeds inside. Cooper, bailout, 3. Back iron, couldn't get that to go. Simons down the transition. It's Tashara, back over to Simons, and turn over to Queen. Settles down. Simons, bit of a hot hand at the moment. 11-6 the lead. Again, crowd lovely in here. Clear, distinctive side to each of these. This ball going through sets of hands to Tashara once again. Goes inside to Queen, steps through on the defence, draws contact, rewards himself going to the line, and a good bit of play here by Taj Queen. A lot of trust in put into him here to play through these couple of trying minutes. And he's coming out the other side with some really good defensive rebounding and really earning his way to the stripe there.
Yeah, no, he's a little bit more settled now. I think maybe the first few minutes probably would have got to him just because, again, big occasion. They're playing on the big court here. And sometimes emotions can get the better of you. But if you can quickly check yourself in and put your ego out at the front door, then I think you'll be fine. I think that's what we're seeing here with young Taj. And the last few possessions for him have been much better. And now he's just got to really just focus on what he needs to do.
1 or 2 at the free throw line there. 2:03 remaining. Lead extended out by Hobart now 12-6. Jordan Cooper now with the ball for the Revellers. Let's see what they can come up with on this possession. Of course, substitutions coming in as Sandro Nunez, who I do believe he's been working hard on his game as well. No look pass there by Cooper. Inside, and Cooper gets another one there. Simon's asked the question for a bit of a carry and launch.
I think more of a travel than anything else on that skip step, I reckon it was, JB.
Tashara once again. Over there to McIver, who gets up inside, round the world, off glass.
Yeah, nice work there again by McIver. Hammer just working really well down low there and a good finish.
There's that famous number 0 once again, controlling the ball. Screen roll there by Maddock. Wasn't used, but no look was used once again by Cooper, and a good finish by Brody Nibs.
Yeah, no, really good entry pass in, and then Nibs with a really strong finish as well too. Good play.
Interesting point I want to bring up at quarter time and see your thoughts from a coaching standpoint.
Yep.
Ronnie, as Nunez gets the ball fake, and he just shuffled the feet there.
Yeah,
just trying to get the split.
Yeah, he shuffled his feet. He's had a few issues with his fundamentals this year.
There's Oliver Cunningham checks in and out after some good minutes, Toby Lang.
But hopefully the coaches there will obviously help correct him a little bit, and he'll be fine.
So over the top now, McIver over to Shara. Kyver back to Cunningham. Turn to Simons, but that one is deflected away on the break there. The Revellers looking to get a fadeaway basket now. The back post is Linden, and it gets the score.
Yeah, no, good take by Linden now. I thought good defence by Simons as well too, but Linden equal to the challenge with a really nice shot.
14-12 our scoreline here. And the pressure building by the Revs in the last minute or so, looking to tie this ball game as Ayrton Chopping is going to come back into this game, as is, if we go the right way, Justin Alex McMillan. So 34.3 remaining here in the first term as Tashara and Queen head out. Timeout taken here by the Revellers, so this would be a good chance to bring this point up.
Yes, go for it, Trevor.
For you there, Ronnie. Now, if I can just remember that point.
Yes, what was that point?
Would be sensational there. It was regarding Cooper. Now, we've seen a lot of no-look passes early on in this quarter. If you're a team and a coach, I mean, obviously the whole idea is you're watching a player's eyes, you know, you're watching a player at the ball and you're watching the hips, probably the three main points on the defensive end there. If you understand and can scout that Cooper's got those no-look passes going, what are you saying as a coach to your defenders? You know, are you asking them to watch the ball or watch the eyes, watch the hip? You know, there's a lot of defensive factors there, but knowing that he's thrown a lot of these and has a high propensity to do it, what are you looking at as a coach?
I think what we're looking at here, as far as the no-lookers are concerned, JB, is we'll have the camera die if we're not careful here. But what we're looking for, folks, is really a little bit of both. And then obviously in our scouting report during the week, we have to identify and try to work out where the majority of the no-lookers go. So then you have to try and overplay left or right, and then, you know, you try and assess it from there. Meanwhile, though, you've got to give credit to Joel Cooper, who's done a fantastic job as far as giving no-lookers is concerned. And, you know, and that's just one way to be creative. And, you know, it's really good to have a player like that on your team. So, JB is looking for an extension cord, as we will survive with the battery, don't worry. Meanwhile, Linden with the ball carrying duties. Ball getting moved around, set to hands. Final play here, the first quarter, you would think, or second last play. Cooper misses that one from deep. Simons with the rebound now. McIver up the floor here. And Simo just asking the ball to be slowed down here for one shot. Now chopping inside to McIver. Good work there by the Rebellers to deflect that one. And the ball goes out of play. So 8.5 remaining here. And Simons restarts. Looking for McIver on the cut. Can't get the go off glass. Rebound by Nibs. Nibs up the floor quickly here. And the two will go on the buzzer there to Nunes. And we are tied at 14 apiece here at quarter time in what has been a entertaining first quarter. As we come to you from the Kingross Sports Centre. As we come to you live by the West Coast Ball Connection YouTube channel, the 2022 Basketball Tasmania TJBL South Conference Grand Final Series underway here, day number 1. We have the girls up tomorrow. We also have the Hobart Chargers playing tomorrow afternoon against the Kilsyth Cobras down at Creek Road as well, for all our local viewers tuning in as well. So plenty happening around the Greater Hobart area, really, when you think about it. So quarter time here, Chris Simons really deep in discussion here with the troops, and just trying to pick up a little bit of what he's on about there. Just really more emphasising the defensive end there. Meanwhile, Brad Simmons on the whiteboard and drawing up a few things here. A good crowd in as well too. Again, always nice to see the mums, dads, relatives of all here as well too, amongst friends, of course. And it's been a great day so far. We've as we as the boys are just going over some technical issues. I think we've got that sorted. 2 minutes, says JB. Okay, we're still live. We've still got things recording, so it's all good. So second quarter about to get underway here. Like I say, we are tied at 14 apiece in this under-16 boys championship division grand final. Over. So Glenorchy controlled to the left of your screen. Cooper now with it. Now down to Linden here as Glenorchy look to run a good set off their first play. Good pass into Nibs down low. Goes to work. Can't get the shot to go. Queen with the rebound, looking for options, and that will be assessed on Nibs there, Brody Nibs, fouler. So Simon's bringing the ball down here. Entry pass in from McGillen into Queen, and Queen working his way nicely now in this ball game. Really doing a good job of now just settled. He picked up a couple of fouls early. Now he's fine, and Taj Queen will go to the line here for 2. So as we mentioned, Taj Queen, who are coming down the last couple of years, Hobart doing a really good job within this team and this age group throughout the last couple of years to make the final. And we've seen Taj come a long way. Of course, he always working hard down at Switch Hoops Academy. Probably a blessing in disguise for most of our junior players now. That they get an opportunity to really work on their game, and we have a facility now that can do that. So it's fantastic to see. I think that's paying off dividends across all age groups, folks, and really good to have Swisher in the building. Meanwhile, Cooper puts it to the floor, looking baseline, and it's an offensive foul for a hook. Or is it a legal screen? Let's have a look here. It's going to be assessed on Jack Maddox there for an illegal screen. So substitution being made. Alex Goodwin coming into the game. Jack Maddox will have a breather. Simons with the ball carrying duties. Out to Lang. Back to Simons, and now back to Lang for the triple. Can't get it to go. Oh, sorry, that was Cunningham. My apologies. I get them two mixed up a little bit, so apologies. Cunningham will have the shot. Meanwhile, Floor on the ball. McMillan now chopping from the corner for 3. Just off on that one. And now Simons will pick up the scraps here. Spin move, kick out pass. Chopping for another 3 here. Can't get that to go. Short on that one. Another 2 from that phase of play. Now the ball with Linden. Linden putting it to the floor, seeing what he's got. Nunez working his way through, trying to go middle. Gets stuck a little bit, has to kick it out here. Now Cooper. Linden for 3. Just off. Nunez when he gets the O board. Chopping there along with him, along with Nibs at the same time. And the 2 goes, and Glenorchy retake the lead here, 16-15. Chopping him to slow this one down. Double teamed by Nibs and Linden, but done legally according to referee Jack Woolcock. It's going to be on Brody Nibs. Deshara coming into the game. Had a little bit of time with his brother Israel, who was in our under-18 program as well too. Chopping coming for Abreva. Looks like another substitution being made here. Josh Fogarty coming back in. Now Cunningham to restart. Here's Simons. Now Tashar works his way middle, goes up and gets it to go down. Nice work there by Moses Tashara. Now Cooper putting it to the floor here as we come up the floor, up to the other end of the floor here. Wraparound pass. Good work there. Cunningham able to get that one, and he's off and running. With Tashara here in support, but ball goes out of play, and Glenorchy to get it back. And JB rejoins us.
I have returned, Ronnie. I just covering all bases to make sure that we are not losing power in any way, shape or form anywhere, and I think we've got our all bases covered here. So we have returned, 17-16.
Yeah, so Cooper with the ball carrying duties here, works his way through. Now on the drive.
Pneumatic on the drive, I believe.
There we go.
Other way. Goodwin.
Goodwin, yes. So Goodwin finds his way to the foul line here. And 2.5 minutes into this second quarter. And now Cunningham is going to come in here.
It's a bit of a...
oh, no, sorry. Toby Lang is going to come in. Sorry. I get it. I just get slightly confused between those two because they do both look alike, JB.
Absolutely. It's been a very scrappy...
apologies to his father that's on the bench.
It's been a scrappier game, this one, Ronnie, but still a tight and intense sort of game. I mean, our other two sort of turned into track meets and were energy everywhere, but, I mean, it's a war of attrition here, and whoever could come down to whoever fires the final shot gets the win here.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I'll come back to that. Simons goes up for the shot, can't get a go off glass, and then Lang was in there, couldn't get it to go. And now Linden able to give this one off to Goodwin. So Goodwin coming up the floor here. So Glenorchy looking to retake the lead here. Now, ball goes up and off glass, gets that to go for Jay Purton.
Yeah, massive there, just high up release too, 1 pound dribble up, a la Sam McDaniel.
And good double team here up high, so now another turnover though for Glenorchy, so turnovers may be crucial in this ball game. Now the three goes up.
Bang!
And it goes down there for Oliver Cunningham.
Massive basket there from Ollie Cunningham, and again, just that 2-point buffer, and I would just wonder whether that buffer they created early on, at 5-6 points, is forcing those extra possessions.
And now for the answering triple, can't get it to go there for Purton. And now Linden with the O board, so Linden goes up, can't get it to go. And good work by Tashara. Now Simons has it here for Hobart.
And now for Hobart, a good chance here just to calm down, get through a set. You've clearly got control and the Revs are rushing. So, try and force them into some defensive errors with that rush and execute.
And Cunningham into McMillan. Now back out to Tashara. And travel called down Tashara. Hobart going with a really small lineup. They're going to bring in Hamish McIver, who have a little bit of extra height here as well too. That really puts McMillan and McIver in that 4-5 role as Toby Lange comes off.
You're not wrong about running a smaller lineup here, Ronnie. Generally across the entire board here, Revs with the height advantage.
Yeah, so it looks like Charge Green will have some extended rest here. And now a double foul is being called. So foul on Cunningham. And then the other foul will be called on Linden.
And we'll continue to go the other way.
So because Glenorchy had control of the ball.
So they're just confirming here.
But
yeah, no, simple call.
Yep, though one team is now in team fouls.
Yes, the penalty now, of course, for the Revs. So the question is, if that foul was called on the Revellers player who's on the offensive, then it would be, is it a Hobart ball or is it a... We're going to see. No, they are going to continue possession there, but of course there's no penalty because it was that offensive foul. But the next defensive foul is, of course, free throws.
Correct. Linden win the ball.
Oh,
nice fake.
Very nice.
Goes through the middle. Can't get it to go.
$1 million 5-cent operator there as Matic goes to work off glass.
Can't get it to go. Now Tashara needs to take care of that ball and does. Here's Simons as we come back down to the change room ends of the Sports Centre here on the show court. There's Cunningham. Now to Simons. Simons thought about it, now puts it to the floor. He goes up and actually moved by Simons. High off glass.
He's weaved through that southern outlet traffic like an absolute master. Sensational move there, Lockie Simons.
Now ball here with Cooper as he goes baseline. Wraparound pass to Linden. Linden now goes middle. Good give. And now the ball needs to come back to Linden, and it does. Step back two is good there for Linden.
And I noticed a little bit here with the Revellers when they're shooting. They're shooting short almost, so I'm not sure whether they're a little tight or just trying to be precautionary in adjusting to these rims.
McMillan, now Tashara from deep. Missed everything.
A little too deep. Nothing but net, not in a good way. We are going the other way. Revellers basketball here. 4:28 remaining here in the second term. 22-20 our scoreline, and all games have been very tight indeed. In fact, the winning margin last game was in probably the biggest margin we've had all day, but all teams certainly in the battle right up until the very end.
Absolutely. Linden and Cunningham having a pretty good battle there. And then the ball was with Purden. He looks to go up. And Fogarty was able to go up himself there on that one, and he gets the foul. Ball will be on the baseline here.
Of course, you are tuning into the 2022 TJBL Southern Conference Grand Final Gala Weekend. Day one, men's action here.
It's Cooper from deep, yes.
Oh, and he had a little bit of a look back as well towards Mr. McIver there as well. A bit of a hi, how you doing? So 1 point lead here, and Hobart with a turnover. So Revs just building their own momentum here. Substitutions, it looks to be. No, that'll be
Timeout.
Timeout taken by Hobart. And that's not a bad timeout. That's a good tactic there by Chris Simons. I don't know necessarily, it'd be a good time to adjust the coaching, but a good way to kill that slight momentum build that had come through as well.
Yeah, Glenorchy just seemed to score the last couple of baskets here, and Hobart a little bit stagnant in what they're doing. So I'm sure Simo will make some changes here and make some adjustments on both ends of the floor. And meanwhile, again, Brad Simmons here back on the whiteboard as well too. So really focusing on the next play here for his troops. So, really good game so far. And, we only got to look back to
the last two contests.
The last two, yeah.
Well, the last game these two played.
Yeah, which was back.
Wow, no way.
Yep. 94-59.
In favour of Hobart.
But mind you, though, 36-30 at half-time, and then the floodgates open in the second half there for Hobart Phoenix. But
that's one thing we have noticed in these finals, Ronnie. In previous matchups, they'd been, big blowout games, but finals and grand finals do funny things to people. And
yeah, it does.
We have seen, as we've mentioned, some tremendous contests. I mean, as we mentioned in the under-12s grand final there, right up to the last 2 minutes, the game was well in hand. And probably even, you would say, till around that 2-minute mark in the under-14s game after the Southern Wolves threw everything they had and just couldn't quite get on the scoreboard here. And as we mentioned, a war of attrition right now. You'd have to suggest that this one will be another 12-round final blow sort of operation. But, yeah, a different kind of game, a much more free-flowing offensive style of game in the other first two contests. This one a much more scrappier affair, but a good brand of basketball as well, one that's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. So Glenorchy restarted, and they lead it by one at the moment, 23-22 here at the Kingborough Sports Centre. There's Lyndon. Now Purdon. In term here, we're going to go to Fogarty. Fogarty goes up, and that'll be a travel violation.
Yeah, just tried to work his way through an absolute wall of traffic there, and a bit different if you manage to get the split on the defender and they overcompensate, but when you're just trying to find a path that's not there, you're usually on the wrong end of it.
Absolutely. So Hobart looking to retake the lead on this possession here as Simon works the ball-carrying duties here. Simons goes solo, and it was a good option for Lockie Simons.
Lockie Simons has been a real catalyst here in this second term and really sparked this offensive side for Hobart. It's now back to a one-point ball game. Kobe versus Mike, 24-23.
Yes. She's talking about numerology. Meanwhile, Joel Cooper from deep.
Couldn't get that one to go. Oh, hell yeah, 3:16 remaining in the second.
We're just going to chuck all the references out there. As meanwhile, Cunningham gets the use of a friendly roll from downtown.
Absolutely. Halfway there, and there was the answer to the prayer.
Absolutely. 27-23, 3 minutes remaining. Joel Cooper for the response. Can't get it to go.
And here's where Hobart, now that they've settled and killed some of that momentum, they're building it back themselves here, and they've put the Revs on the back foot.
So Simons with the runner. Flat and back on. Now McGillen. He's chopping. Chopping works his way through. Goes up. Back on that one as well too for Eden Chopping. Now Cooper here. As he works his way through. He goes solo. And this time was a good option for Joel Cooper. Yeah,
nice step through and pivot there by Joel Cooper. So again, a 2-point ball game here, and the Revellers will not go away. Just when Hobart think they have the answers, the questions get changed there from the Glenorchy side.
So Simons. Cunningham back to Simons here. Shot clock
quick
at 10.
Thinking.
McIver, yes.
Great ball movement there from Hobart. You could see they were just trying to open up on that opposite side, that second side there, and found that low post option.
So Cooper here, as we're into 2 minutes now. Now Purdon trying to work his way through. Cooper able to get it back. So Cooper with some moves of his own. Purdon from deep. Yes.
Big basket there. So a 1-point ball game once again. You just saw that Cooper had managed to lose chopping on that one there, and Purdon reaping the rewards.
Absolutely. So some good play here. Marching back to 1 point. Hobart up by 1. Now McGillen down low. Needs to kick it out. Simons in term chopping this time. Can't get it to go. And then McIver does a really good job of trying to save that one back, and the ball goes back to Glenorchy. And substitutions here being made.
Bold substitutions.
Nibs,
and
Maddock. And it's Goodwin and, well, I did mention Fogarty.
That's it.
There we go. And then who was the other one that came on then if there were 3 subs there? I'm just trying to work out.
No, there were only 2, I think, Ronnie.
No, there were only 2.
Yeah, we had a third player stand up.
Ah, there you go. Meanwhile, Cunningham in the chopping here on the run.
Good
chopping,
contest.
And then chopping, can't get it to go. McIver on the O board, can't get that to go either. And now the ball quickly up the floor here through Purdon.
He's just lost a handle.
Yes.
Yeah, just a little too quick and a bit of urgency on that. And even though they had the momentum, as we mentioned, Ronnie, it's harnessing that energy and, just making the correct decisions once you get into that offensive phase of the transition.
So Simons nearly went to a backcourt violation, but they lost the ball, and then Simons able to get it back here. And now it needs options here. Goes to chopping into Simons, but then good work by Maddock to knock that one away. And then foul on the play here. Be 2 shots because it's team fouls. We'll see who it's on here.
The last bit of this third quarter has just rolled through. 46.6 remaining here. 29-28. Hobart going to the line. Now that's 5th team foul, yes. And that's a 4th personal on Maddox. So that's another one as well. There's some, that's the precautionary has to be taken here by Coach Simons. So 4 fouls on one of your leading bigs. And a key rotation as well. So we'll see how this one pans out.
So Simon misses the first there. Chris Simons having a bit of a talk with Ethan Chopping. There. Yeah, Simon's here.
Of course, the Chopping family up there. Michelle, Pete,
and Portia.
And Portia watching away.
Yeah, they're there. Good to see.
30-28, 1 or 2 at the line.
Yeah. So back to 2 points, as JB mentioned. And now Cooper with it. Now just trying to get up here. That's Byers, by the way, too.
Absolutely, gets the hand off there.
Now inside to Nibs. Nibs with that quick step on the move and gets the 2.
Yeah, lovely photo on that low block. Angie Tompkins, who we'd seen so much this season. And tie ball game going in towards half-time here, a very fitting scoreline.
Chopping for the response. Well, it was nothing but net, but not in a good way.
Not in a good way, as we say.
Yes. Now Nibs with it as he works his way
Bullet
through.
pass.
Linden for the mid-range 2. Can't get it to go. Cooper able to steal that one in and now gives it back off to Byers. Byers needs to kick it off. And now Cunningham has a chance on the half-time. No, went through the shot clock and all. We are tied at 30 at half-time here in what has been a very good first half, Jobo.
A very good first half, a scrappy first quarter, but a much more improved second term there. And as you mentioned, Ronnie, 30 all is probably a fitting margin in this game after such a blowout in that the first time these teams met earlier in the season. For it to be this close, I mean, this is the other side of things too. This is very similar to that when they matched up at halftime earlier in the season. Of course, a blowout followed on from there. So we will see how things are handled here. The story, of course, is Maddox is out. 4 fouls already. So the man management of the Revs needs to come into play. But Chris Simons, with a very tactful time out there, of course, later on in the quarter, managed to extend that from what was a 4-point lead to the Revs, managed to narrow that one down and get some momentum. Of course, the Revs continuing on here. Notice Joel Cooper put away the no-look pass fairly quickly from the quarter-time break there. Only managed the 1 or 2 and, probably just changed up a bit of the scout as well. But it's been a sensational day here so far for junior basketball here in the South. The TJBL South Conference Grand Final Gala weekend. Day 1 is the boys' games here. Of course, if you're only just tuning in, welcome into our coverage. Of course, the Revellers have the under-12 and under-14 Div 1 championships under their belt in what was 2 fantastic displays of basketball. And, of course, they're looking for 3 in as many tries here, of course, which will be a tough ask to do. Meanwhile, Hobart, their first time on the show court here, and they are putting up a fight as well.
Absolutely. Of course, in the under-18 matchup today, it's Hobart taking on Kingborough, so we will get to see, of course...
That is a big rivalry. That's probably the biggest rivalry in all of Hobart and Southern basketball.
And then in the coaching ranks, it's Corey Davey and, of course, Anthony Stewart, who will be lining up for
sensational.
for a preliminary final tomorrow afternoon.
Are you... which game are you refereeing today?
The 16 Shields, which is on at the same time as the 18, so I will not be here for that, but I will give you a bit of a report here. Archie Stewart was in the building here last night, somehow worked his way into the venue and got some shots up. Got some shots up while I was setting up commentary booth here, JB, and getting things ready for today. So one Archie Stewart in the building last night, just getting some shots here on the main show court.
If there's a ball and a hoop, the man's a chance. Second
Absolutely.
quarter, second half about to get underway here. Ed
Yes.
chopping with the inbounding duties. And I suppose here for both sides, Ronnie, we'll have a look at now. That's going to be
Oh, that's out of bounds. So
another step on the line here. It's
again,
chopping
yeah.
a little confused, but we'll talk, I suppose, now the Revellers have the opening possession. Ronnie, what do Glenorchy have to do here just to try and swing things in their favour?
Well, I mean, they're attacking the basket, which Linda does, but good defensive play there by Hobart Banks. Now, the foul will be assessed on, I reckon it's going to be Hamish McIver. It is. So he'll go to line. But that's probably what you would want from Glenorchy out of their first set. Attack the rim, be aggressive, understand that Taj Queen is back out there, so they really wanted to make him a focal point as far as, okay, he's the one that's in foul trouble. If we can keep him out of the game, he's kind of the pressure release. That's why I feel like Glenorchy at the moment are kind of in this game at the moment. So if they can really target Taj and take out a little bit of height for Hobart, certainly plays into Glenorchy's favour. As the ball goes up by Cooper and can't get it to go. McIver with the rebound. Now he's chopping with it. As Simons now comes up the floor here for Hobart.
For Hobart, of course, it's just those little execution factors that have seen them lapse and drop their lead, I feel, Ronnie. It's just those little moments there where they give up 3 or 4 points as Queen goes to fight through, and then they seem to be chasing to get back in front. Chris Simons will not want that here in this second half and want a bit more consistency and fluidity to his offense.
Yes, no, absolutely. So ball getting through Goodwin, and then Cooper, then Nibs in turn to Nibs on that. I think I went Nibs too early there. I think that might have been Fogarty into Nibs there on the play. So good work there by Brody Nibs to finish that one off. Glenorchy up by 3. Rebound there by Goodwin. Chopping able to intercept. Queen goes up. Can't get it to go. Queen goes up for seconds. Gets it to go. He'll go to the line for one.
Yeah,
Taj Queen
worked really hard there.
Play.
Really worked hard there along with chopping Queen to just try and grab the board on their second and third opportunities. And we talk about it even at a senior level, Ronnie. They need to be at some point when you're getting those second and third opportunities, you need to capitalise and you need to be, scoring on those extra offensive possessions, which Queen has done there, and a chance to make this an and one. But at the same time, just a little bit cleaner execution, honestly, here from Hobart, because they are proving they can get it done defensively, but they just seem to have, when momentum's wrestled away from them, it's a real tug of war to get it back.
Absolutely, and you mentioned about the seniors. We are covering the seniors later this week, Tuesday, Wednesday night, by our West Coast Ball Connection YouTube channel. Hope you can join us then as well too for some senior grand finals. Cooper, triple team, now needs to kick this one out. Good one from downtown, back iron on that one. And Chopping able to save it to Tashara. Good work there by young Ayrton Chopping. And now Tashara up here with the ball. And now gives it off to McIver. And Queen now Simons as we slow this down. So Chopping. Here's McIver. As again the ball getting moved around that shoehorn. And back to Tashara here on the weak side wing. Queen working his way through. Gets a little bit stuck. And a 3-second violation being called on that play.
Yeah, Chris Simons just saying you need to get the ball out of the hands when you get caught in that situation and get out of the laneway. But again, usually the third quarter is our quickest quarter, Ronnie. We are only 2 minutes into this one. There's been a lot of action. Of course, the Revs lead this one by 2, 34-32.
And the shot goes up here by Nibs. Can't get it to go. And then Simons able to get himself out of that and gets it back now. Simons off and running. Needs to slow this one down for the troops. And now to Shara. Here's Chopping with it. Chopping trying to look for some options here as he has to go. Now, Queen. Simons, shot clock at 6, decides to fire and gets it to go down for Lockie Simons.
He has been huge for this Hobart team. Every point in the game they've needed a bucket. He has more than provided, and they now lead this one 35-34.
And now Goodwin for the response. Back on that one to Shah with the rebound.
Bank not open in Kingston.
No, certainly not at the moment. We are closed for a Saturday afternoon here. Meanwhile, Tashara looks good, is good for Tashara.
And there's just that momentum once again for Hobart. When they get it, they build it and wrestle it, and it does really well for them. Bart, the key now, execute defensively, get another basket down here, and force the Revs to make a move.
Hobart up by 4 here as Cooper now has to work it to Goodwin. Goodwin looking at options here. Wanted to go to Linden, decides to go solo, but lost control of it, and ball goes out of play. Hobart to get it back.
And there's the timeout we predicted there from Brad Simmons. So Revs will take a timeout as Hobart wrestle momentum in their favour. 38-34, and of course, Ronnie, basketball doesn't just extend on the floor.
That's right, Jobo.
It does extend off the floor as well. and the entire basketball community currently rallying at the moment around the Grenadiers Basketball Club through what is appearing to be a bit of a challenging time for one of their young stars of their under-16 team, Nate Howcroft. We have one of our own in the basketball community who needs our support. Very recently, an under-16 boys shield player with Grenadiers Basketball Club, Nate Howcroft, was diagnosed with an aggressive stage 4 B-cell lymphoma. His family have had to urgently relocate to Melbourne for his intensive treatment, which is likely to take 6 to 9 months. Over the TJBL Grand Final weekend, there will be door entry collection at the Kingston Stadium with all donations to go to the family. Please dig deep. Nate's teammates and friends will be there at the entrance to the show courts with collection buckets, so please toss in some coins or better still, some notes. It would be great to see the basketball community get behind Nate and his lovely family. They really need our love and support. Thank you very much to everyone involved in the donations. I've had a very good look out there at the buckets on the door there. Plenty of support being provided out there. Of course, we send our love and best wishes to Nate Howcroft, his family, his friends and everyone involved there, and we wish them the best.
As Chopping goes up for the three, can't get it to go. Tashara with the O board, kick out to Simons for three. Same result on the play.
Yeah, a bit of a heat check there. Now the Revs need a chance to wrestle.
Now Cooper off and running, has numbers in support. Great pass to Linden on the drive.
And that crowd for the Revs just not falling on the side either. So back to a 2-point ball game, and here's the time here, just where Hobart need to execute once again.
McIver from deep, can't get to go. Tashara with another O board, and now Queen with it. Simons, so we slow this one down. Chopping, cross court into Simons.
Oh, not again.
And
oh, not again.
No, just off on that one. And then rebound by Chopping. Now Tashara putting it to the floor.
A third opportunity.
Queen goes from deep but missed everything.
So there's just those little moments there we talk about, Ronnie. Second, third opportunities. You want to attack those as well and really utilise possession. But meanwhile for the Revs, they get lucky there and a chance to tie or even go ahead in this game.
Yep, so Linden with the ball carrying duties as Cunningham looks to check back in. Now the ball back with Linden here now. So ball to Goodwin. In turn to Nibbs on that mini alley play. Couldn't get it to go. Goodwin the strides. His luck from deep. Can't get it to go. Now Simons with it as we come back up the floor.
So when we talk about again with the Revs now, they need to utilise those opportunities as well. And, you know, small margins today have proven to be the difference. So
McIver. Now Queen for the elbow, yes.
Yeah, nice rise up there by Taj Queen, who gets the finish. Extends this one out by 4 points now. And Chris Simons imploring his team, wings out.
So Cooper, who was defended by Tashara. Now Linden with it. In turn to Fogarty. Now Linden from the corner. Yes.
Big basket there. So again, the Revs just keep somehow finding an answer along the way. They will not go away. And we've still got a long way to go in this game.
Absolutely. 5 minutes to go. 1 point ball game here. Hobart with a slender 1 point lead as Simons now into Chopping. Now on to McIver. McIver to Tashara for the little give and the two.
Yeah, nice basket there from Tashara. Extends this one back out to three once again. And this is a real seesawing contest right now.
Absolutely. So Linden looking. And yeah, he's travelled in the process there. And substitutions as Oliver Cunningham comes in and
Medic.
So JB just coughing up here. Who's coming off here? He's going to be Edson Chopping here. Is you all right, JB?
I'm getting there. Oh.
4:35 remaining here as we come to you from the Kingra Sports Centre. Live by the
live
West Coast.
and alive, I should point out.
Thank you very much, JB.
Be fair.
Live on our West Coast Ball Connection YouTube channel. Meanwhile, Queen able to pick that one up. Goodwin with a bit of a shove there. The referees let that one play and the two goes.
Yeah, nice up and under. So back out to 5 points once again. And here for the Revs, they've just got to try and lift. You can just sense here, you know, a couple of possessions on both ends going Hobart's way.
So Cooper thought about it, now needs to go to other options. Nibbs provides that option.
Triple teamed almost.
Now Cooper from the corner for three, yes.
Nothing but net and on his head. Lets the young fella know about it as well. I don't know whether that's a brave tactic or lack of awareness, but if I'm down 2, I'm not throwing those kind of taunts at the opposition.
Yeah, it's always interesting at junior level. We see it in a fair bit of NBL 1 level.
Ollie Angerstein doesn't mind a bit of a head tap.
That is true. There's no score there from the Cunningham 3. But yes, no, sometimes in junior sport, it can come, those type of things can come back to haunt you if you're not careful. So
and
it is.
I suppose it does show the impact our senior players, even at a local level, have.
True. Like I say, it's a little bit different at the elite level because it's a little bit for show and on product. But I feel that sometimes our younger players probably watch a little bit too much NBA, so to speak. And that's where they get it from. Meanwhile, MacGyver not ready for the play on that one. And
pro moves with amateur skill sets don't always mix, Ronnie.
Yes, that's correct, JB. Well cleaned up there. Thank you. Meanwhile, Cooper thought about it. Now to Purden for the 3. Can't get it to go. Simons works well on the board there.
Yeah, went to go glass here. Oh.
And then able to get it back. Simons with an errant pass, which Glenorchy able to pick off. Cooper with a pass fake. Now to wraparound pass here into... Well, goes back to Purden here at the corner for the mid-range too. Yes.
And here again, once again,
44.
Once again, the Revellers just getting themselves back into this game. So Hobart, once again, looking to wrestle more momentum, but you've got to wonder how much more can the Revs fight back.
Queen goes up and in and out for Taj Queen on that one.
Yeah, round the world trip with no passport, unfortunately.
So now Linden. Here's Purden. Purden working his way through. Goes up and off glass. Gets the 2 to go.
The bank's finally open and Chris Simons has seen enough. He'd like a timeout as more momentum's wrestled, but that's one thing we talk about too. These timeouts have been very tactful and very smart by Chris Simons. They haven't been... I don't think there's been any timeouts in this game, I would say, that have been tactful, Ronnie. The tactic of obviously taking momentum out of the game, but I can't see these as X and O timeouts, just the way this game's been played. It's, taking the momentum back, it's quelling everyone and dragging their head back into the game. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think for Chris Simons, that timeout, that first probably 20 seconds of that, it was just about pulling our heads back in and whatnot. Now, of course, he's drawing up on the whiteboard. It's same with Brad Simmons. Again, Brad Simmons, very X's and O's type of coach here, and a little bit, and just see body language there as well too. A little bit of everything in that, from what I can tell there. So, what a third quarter it's been. It's anyone's ball game right now.
It's been a sensational. I mean, the first quarter was really scrappy, but this, the last 18 minutes or so of basketball that we've had throughout. This second and third term have really changed the structure of it as well. I mean, we talked about how open the first 2 games were, Ronnie, but this one's just becoming a wall-by-wall sort of affair. There are certain offences have been launched, defences have been planned, schemes are being hatched, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's just a different kind of game. And the referees are letting them play. They're letting them be physical. At this age, they obviously understand that. Nothing overexerted, though. And again, another quality game. A different game, but it is a quality game of basketball.
It is. That is for sure. No, this has been a good matchup all the way through here at the moment. So Simons up the floor here. Now kick out pass to Cunningham for 3. Can't get it to go.
He just looked hesitant there on that shot to Cunningham.
And now Cooper goes solo, coast to coast.
Yeah, absolutely. He just tore through there. And again, another 4-point lead out here to the Revellers, who are really wanting to continue to seize on that momentum they've perceived.
So Simons now with it as Hobart will try and find a way to get back into this ball game. Simons goes solo himself, and it was a good option.
Yeah, and whenever there's an answer that's been required here for Hobart, Simons has provided it.
Certainly has shown that. That is for sure. Just near on 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. And as Glenorchy slow this one down. Shot clock is at 12 here, so Glenorchy will need to get this ball moving here. Fogarty needs to give it off and does. Cooper now. Linden for another 3. Yes!
And things have just swung the way of the Revellers now, so this one's out to 5 points on the other side. A 10-0 run, essentially, going the favour here of Glenorchy.
And that run will continue here. Linden has Mimps in support, doesn't need it.
And
gets the 2, and that's not good.
He's injured. He's very sore. He landed awkwardly.
He did. Let's hope he's okay. Meanwhile, MacGyver goes up, drew a foul, go to line for 2, and that is not good there for James Linden, who is limping very badly there, JB.
Absolutely. He went up sideways. You could see it was like he maybe copped a bit of contact mid-air, Ronnie. I know he did jump sideways into the contest. I'm not sure whether that was because of contact he had, but he's fairly proppy there and not wanting to put too much on the back side of that right leg.
Yeah.
So he's just going to try and run
out, I reckon.
I wonder whether he's just clipped a knee, as contact goes for sure. So sub on the shooter as well here for Hobart. But 46-53, a minute 27 remaining in the third. Make that a 6-point lead once again. I mean, that's pretty much the biggest buffer we've seen in this game, Ronnie, a 6-7 point lead. So, we see it a lot at state league and we see it at senior level. 3 or 4 points sometimes, that's to try and fight back and get over that hump can be quite tough.
Absolutely. McIver goes 1 of 2. Last touch by Queen there, so go to Glenorchy.
Substitutions into the game here.
Yeah, so Alex McMillan coming in for Hamish McIver, and they're working a bit of a cream on the, looks like the upper knee there for James Linden. Yeah,
a bit of deep heat maybe, not too sure. They're just having a real look at that to try and maybe a bit of icy hot just to try and make sure things are okay there. I'll keep an eye on that, Ronnie.
All right, Cooper with the ball carrying duties and goes himself. Spin move. Nice finish by Joel Cooper.
And it really started this run for the Revellers with that hard intent drive from Cooper about 2 minutes ago. And the momentum has continued to swing their favour. They now lead by 8.
Margin, 8 points. Simons into McMillan for the 2. Can't get it to go. Simons on the tip was fouled.
And now Cooper's in a bit of a grimace down low. Or is he just frustrated? He seems fine now. He is, so he's grabbing towards the bottom of that right leg and that calf.
Yep, so
definitely calf. Of course, always cautious when we see calf, Ronnie, because the next thing we're waiting to pop is potentially an Achilles, but he's okay there. As Simons makes that one there, as we mentioned, he's been the bucket guy, the get-a-bucket guy for Hobart, and he's really kept him in this game for a lot of it.
Yeah, no, Lockie Simons has done a great job here this afternoon, JB, and certainly... he shows a lot of old traits of his old man, that is for sure, but he's doing a good job right now keeping his boys in this game. They're down 6 at the moment, 55-49. Glenorchy lead it as Cooper with it now. Ball coming back here to Purden, who puts it to the floor. Goes with a tough floater, gets his own rebound, goes for seconds and gets it done.
Yeah, leaning back, avoided contact. Lovely basket there by Linden. So an 8-point ball game here, 35 seconds remaining. Hobart wanting a basket to stop.
So Simons trying to find an opening. Good kick-out pass here as Lang. Now Simons for 3. Can't get it to go. McMillan with the rebound, and then out of bounds was Cunningham.
And Brad Simmons, just asking for a bit of a push out there on the rebound. But Revellers get that ball, and a one-shot clock here, the potential to make this a 10, 11-point ball game.
Yep, so the third quarter has swung in Glenorchy's favour, and all of a sudden we were tied at half-time.
Off the back of what we thought was a momentum-killing timeout that just didn't work.
And this has been a very high-scoring third quarter as well, too.
Heads up in the front row.
As Nunez misses that one completely.
And if someone would like to just go and check on the young man in the front row who's just had the bejeebers worried out of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shot needs to go up.
So Cunningham for the Hail Mary. Can't get it to go. So 8 points are margin here at three-quarter time. Glenorchy putting in a really good third quarter. Sees them up by 8.
Yeah, massive third quarter there. And again, they started to build a little bit of momentum there. And you could just see Chris Simons take the time out. But straight out of that, Joel Cooper had a lovely drive on that far side towards where Adrian Crespin's sitting, actually. Started with possession of that ball, drove hard to the right-hand side, laid it off glass, and momentum has essentially stayed in the favour of the Revellers since then. Chris Simons, he's now talking to his team, but you've seen Lockie Simons trying to get some baskets, Taj Queen trying to get some baskets as well, but you've also seen some real struggles there of conversion for Hobart as well. 8 points, not much of a margin. It's one of the bigger margins that we've seen all day. So, it's going to be a real fight here. And I suppose just with the way this game's going, you can't rule either side out. But that's probably the most consistently dominant stretch we've seen from either side in this game. So, yeah, again, you do have to suggest that for the Revellers, momentum is well and truly with them. But at the same time, Hobart is Hobart. This isn't Chris Simons' first rodeo. And as he alerted to me today, it certainly won't be his last rodeo either. So, plenty of tricks in the trade there for him. We will see what comes of that. Of course, for Brad Simmons, he already had success at the under-12s and momentum riding with the Revs as well, who are 2-0 for Grand Final Day, and they are looking to go 3-0 and sweep through the Premier Men's Division. And that Revellers crowd rising once again.
Live score update for you from the Albert Court JB in the Under-18 Boys Shield Grand Final. Hobart up by 6 at the moment over the Kingborough Kings, 39-33 in that game.
Very nice, and a football update for you and I, Ronnie. The local boys from home, the Queenie Crows, getting up their reserves prelim by 3 points. They'll play the granny next week.
Lovely work there by the Queenstown Crows. Meanwhile, Lyndon back out on the floor already, so that deep heat has worked. And now Fogarty went up and drew the foul.
Yeah, drew contact going through there, trying to weave.
It's on
through
Taj
traffic.
Queen. That's on Taj Queen, and that is his fourth personal.
That is his fourth, and that is Simo just saying, stay out here. And when it's do or die in a grand final like this now, I mean, this is where you do have to trust your players. There's a reason that they're playing Div 1 Premier. They need to work their way through this little conundrum. As a friendly bounce along the ring there. We haven't seen many of those today on the free throw line.
No, certainly not. And Fogarty gets that to go down. So margin out to 9 here. And back on that one. And Lang with the rebound. Now Simons with it as we come up the floor here. And now Simons slowing this one down. Hobart will try and work their way back into this ball game, and it's going to be through Lockie Simons, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, as we've mentioned all game, he has been the bucket getter for this team. What he needs now is to not necessarily drive the bus with some free passengers. He needs some paying customers as well.
Absolutely. Lyndon in the Cooper here, so Cooper working his way through, putting on some moves, and now gives off to Purdon. Purdon attacks the rim, goes up with that floater once again, missed everything. Chopping did a good job of saving it. Queen off and running. Has Lang in support. Goes up.
Get out of here!
Rejected by Cooper. Good defensive play there by Glenorchy. And now they come back down the floor here through Lyndon.
7-point margin, 58-51.
So Purdon now working his way through. Inside Fogarty here. Nice move inside. And the two can't go, but Nibs on the putback.
Yeah, big basket there by Nibs. I thought they were going to go with the corner three there, Glenorchy, and I sense Hobart thought it as well. They go straight inside and they get that easy up and under.
So ball needs to be slowed down here. Queen with it now. Margin out to 9. Simons putting it to the floor now. Goes up with the runner. Yes.
There he is once again, Lockie Simons. He's just put everyone in the backpack right now and feels he can be the difference maker in this game.
So Lyndon. Now Cooper once again. Lyndon and Cooper working well together here. Now Fogarty back to Cooper. Thought about it. Shot clock at 6 here for Glenorchy. They need to get busy. Cooper goes baseline. Wraparound pass. Lyndon from deep. Yes!
The crowd goes wild. Never looked like missing the second that came out of his hand. Game high, 10-point lead. Still 8 minutes to go in this game. The Revellers can very well sense things are in their favour now.
Absolutely. This game has had some momentum swings, that's for sure. Simons finds an opening, goes up. Tough off glass, can't get it to go. Gets his own rebound. Kick out pass. Queen for 3. Not there.
And the big thing here now for the Revs defensively, if they're only worrying about the offensive side for the Phoenix, you'd be thinking they're going to zone in here on Simons. That'll be a reaching foul.
It's going to be assessed on
number 5. That'll be Cunningham.
Yep.
Tashara coming in now. The substitutions is that Cunningham? It is Cunningham. He's coming out for a break. But, yeah, just defensively on the focus here for the Revs. Everything is going through the hands of Lockie Simons. And understandably, too. I mean, he's the one that's really been the catalyst here for the Phoenix. But if you're the Revellers, you've got to really narrow down on that and not give him an opportunity to create or score.
Absolutely. Nibs down low. We'll have a quick score update for you from the other show court in a second. Meanwhile, Tashara.
Simons forced the turnover.
Now Queen. Queen goes up. And the 2, we're back to 8 points. Meanwhile, Hobart up by 6 against Kingborough in the Shield final on the other court.
Yeah, it's very much turning a big game on there as well.
Lyndon now to Fogarty. Fogarty back to Lyndon. Lyndon want to go baseline. Good deep.
Now we're going to have a look here.
And it's going to be on Taj Queen, and that will be his 5th
foul number 5. He will be out of this game.
And that is 5 here for Taj Queen. So he's out of the ball game. And a very good effort, though, by Taj Queen. Played well under the circumstances that was presented.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, he was in really early foul. He was on really early foul trouble on that one there. And we need a sub into the game here, obviously, there.
Hamish McIver coming in.
But he played really, really well through the early part of that game. We thought he was potentially going to be seeing extended periods off in the first half there.
So the ball up the floor here. Fogarty.
Well-weighted pass by Cooper on the inbound.
So now Purdon in terms of Linden. Linden step back three. Just in and out on that one. Simons did a good job on the boards there. And now has it here for Hobart. So Simons up the floor here, looking to get something happening. Ball moving around as Lang. And then, unfortunately, the ball got turned over. So now the ball here with Nibs. Here's Cooper. Cooper slowing this one down. Now gives it off to Purdon. Back to Linden for another three.
My God!
James Linden on fire here at the Kingborough Sports Centre, and timeout has been called. Glenorchy up and about. Hobart might need to do some soul-searching right here, JB.
Get on a bicycle and ride uphill. You're trying to sit on the seat going through the French Alps in the middle of the tour at this stage, Ronnie. That was a sensational shot there, and they have just started lighting it up in the last 10 minutes here, Glenorchy. They can't miss a shot from outside. They're getting second, third opportunities, and they're limiting Hobart's options on the offensive end for Hobart, I should say, defensively. They're really locking in. They're understanding that Lockie Simons right now is the guy who's running that team. As long as he's the one that's not hurting them, they're willing to run the risk that someone else does. An 11-point ball game, 66-55. Again, I go back to that drive there from Joel Cooper, who started that. There was a little bit of injury concern for him. Also, an injury concern to our friend who cream on the knee.
That was James Linden.
Yeah, James Linden, and all of a sudden he's come out. Just absolute magic there, and he cannot miss a shot right now. And the Revs certainly in a dominant position, looking like they're going to go on a pretty decent run here, and look like they're potentially going to be 3-0 in grand finals here today.
And another live score update for you from show court number 2. Hobart only up by 2 now. Kingborough working their way back, 43-41, as that game is still in progress.
And of course, for us, it's very hard to let you know what time it is for the simple fact that we don't have a live clock on our update. So we are just going on the scoreboard.
We certainly are. So they'd be somewhere in the fourth quarter right now, I'd imagine.
One would suggest.
Yes, it's all same timings. Maybe similar, different start lot times. But anyway, meanwhile, attention is focused on here as Hobart are down by 11 and need to find a way back in this ball game here. So McIver with it as he works his way through. Now kicks it out. Simons from deep is short on that one. And then the O-board, Nibs looking for Cooper up the floor.
Oh, no, look, hand back.
Beautiful running of the floor there by Nibs on that one, JB.
Sensational there, and the Revs crowd's up and about once again. A massive basket, good transition play. And bodies flying everywhere right now, and the ball going loose as well.
And Nibs hits the floor too, as one of your famous lines, bodies hit the floor, JB.
Bodies have hit the floor, and you can feel it too, as we mentioned. This floor here, unforgiving at the Sports Centre, even on a warm day.
Oh, you're not wrong, JB.
13-point margin, though, 68-55. Outscoring your opponent by 14 at any point in the game is hard, let alone with 5:45 remaining in the fourth quarter of a grand final.
So Simons now to Shara from deep. Back on that one. Rebound by Purdon. Now Cooper off and running. Slowing this one down as Cunningham puts a little bit of pressure on. And now ball getting kicked out. Linden thought about it. Now turns it down and goes to Cooper instead.
He's the hot hand. They've got to be very careful here.
Backdoor play on the alley-oop to Purdon. Cooper to Purdon. Lovely work.
Yeah, nice read there again by the Revellers. And, Cooper in that first term didn't seem to be in great control with those no-look passes. He's had a lot of good vision and facilitation here, though.
Chopping. Can't get that to go. Rebound by Purdon.
And the Revs are going to want to look to get this to 17, 18 points on this possession here and almost put this one out of reach.
Absolutely. Chris Simons wanting a timeout if Glenorchy score or the next stoppage. Meanwhile, interesting pass there by Joel Cooper.
There's one way to describe it.
Yes. Purdon into Fogarty. Fogarty on the reverse. Yes.
Yeah, lovely work there.
Here.
Another timeout taken by Chris Simons.
This crowd on its feet here at the Kingborough Sports Centre.
Legitimately on its feet. Graham Castle and Kate Clark.
Oh, they're very happy.
Of course, Sarah is very much happy to be over here on the bench, and I think Robert's obviously away working today, so the eardrums are safe from everyone there. But
absolutely.
This has just been, probably since this, honestly, Ronnie, since this mark in the third term, it has just been absolute one-way traffic here for the Revellers. And just, as we said, things were really seesawing. It was backwards and forwards. The ledger had to be dragged in someone's favour at some stage, and it's happened. It's gone in favour of the Revs, and it's been an avalanche of sorts. Of course, you've got Queen out with foul trouble. He's done for the day. We thought there was going to be some injury concerns there for the Revellers, but they have well and truly overcame that, and they are well and truly getting control of this game. They lead by 17 points in what has been a masterful display of basketball. Of course, Lockie Simons really trying to put the team on his back here for Hobart. But we talked about it, Ronnie, trying to outscore your opponent by 14 in a grand final is tough. Well, try and outscore them now by 18 with half a quarter remaining in the season.
Just another quick score update for you here. Hobart now up by 6, 49-43 in that game on show court number 2.
Looks like that little 6-point margin is just enough over in that game there.
So play restarts here. McIver now chopping in turn to Tashara. Tashara has Cunningham in support. Probably a little bit too late on the pass, but
just stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, Fogarty on that light blue line here at the Kingborough Sports Centre.
It looks like crowd rolling into this one here. Corey Davey and Anthony Stewart, who are side by side walking into this game.
Yes, of course, Corey Davey, basketball operations manager for the Hobart Chargers. Of course, Anthony Stewart, the men's head coach. Of course, both of them would be talking about maybe tomorrow's big preliminary final against the Kilsyth Cobras. We are live at 1:55 p.m. by the NBL1 website or the NBL1 app, and possibly on KO as well too, as we had an email during the week saying we have to turn on the live stream and stuff 45 minutes prior, JB. Meanwhile, play restarts into Simons and gets the 2.
Yeah, Lockie Simons has been a consistent flow throughout this Hobart lineup. For the entire contest here. He's never back down, never quit attitude.
So Cooper loses it, and now Cunningham off and running. Cunningham goes up and gets the 2. And so quick swing here.
Yeah, a bit of a run here by Hobart, and Simons imploring his team to get up defensively. Every possession is now season defining.
Absolutely it is. It is all to play for here. And offensive foul's been called here.
Linden by the looks of it.
Yep, so Linden with an illegal screen. And now Hobart get it back. And Hobart will look to capitalise and try to get this back to 10.
Yes, now back to a 13-point ball game. 4 points remaining. 13-point game, 4 minutes remaining. Justin, come on now.
Yes. Meanwhile, ball with chopping. Chopping inside to Tashara, but lost the handle. And Chris Simons asking for that pressure, as you mentioned, JB, so they're going to go full court coverage here.
Absolutely, and they're going to be throwing doubles on every person to receive an inbound pass if they can.
Absolutely, ball quickly up the floor. Fogarty and Impertin got free on the drive and gets the 2.
Yeah, nice read there. There were 2 double teams on the inbounders, immediately ran up broadcast side, got the opening cut.
So now Simons here. Simons put it to the floor, goes up and gets, he got the 2 up and draw the foul. He'll go to line for 2.
Yeah, didn't quite convert. He will go to the line, as you mentioned there. And, just an unbelievable turn of events here. Obviously, as we mentioned, the Revellers really on a run. So 15 points, I thought the margin might be too much, but if Hobart are able to just keep turning things up a little bit here, we could see the potential of another close game.
And final scores in the Under-18 Boys Shield Grand Final sees Hobart winning by 6 over the Kingborough Kings, 49-43.
Another tight contest there. It's been a great grand final day here at the Kingborough Sports Centre. Day 1 of the TJBL Junior Grand Final Gala weekend. Men's action today, women's action tomorrow, brought to you on the West Coast Ball Connection, thanks to Basketball Tasmania.
Absolutely. Tashara with the 2.
Yeah, nice basket there. And again, it's staying up on that defensive pressure. And the other key on this, communication here from Hobart. They need to be perfect.
So Linden. And then McIver able to pick that one off. Simons with it. Simons with the play calling duties as McIver close to an illegal screen there. Cunningham works it through. Tashara, now Lang looking for options now. Back to Tashara with a step back that missed everything. And now Hobart need to rally back on the defensive end. Cooper off and running. goes up, good use of the body, and gets the 2.
Yeah, got through the split nicely there, and of course, just time running off the clock is the other concern here. Hobart without any timeouts. Brad Simmons with 2 up his sleeve, but I don't feel he's going to need to use them.
No, so ball here with Cunningham, who goes up, can't get that to go. Cooper with the rebound. And now Linden here with it. So play just coming to a bit of a slowdown. We don't mind, by the way.
No, it's great for us. Catch our breath.
Absolutely. Purdon working his way through. Now here's Fogarty. Fogarty with that nice little rip-through move. And now Purdon from deep. Back on.
Yeah, a bit of a heat check finally from outside here for the Revs, who have had everything fall in the last quarter.
Absolutely. Simon's looking for an opening. It goes to Floater. Back on there as well too. Good work by MacGyver. And now the ball with Lang there. Can't get it to go.
Another big rebound by Cooper, so less than 2 minutes remaining here. The last 2 minutes have absolutely flown by on the clock, which is not in Hobart's favour.
No, certainly not here. Purdon working his way through. The crowd making some noise here at the Sports Centre. Now the ball getting moved around.
Risky pass doesn't pay off.
It was. Now Cunningham decides to fire from deep.
Oh!
And it was a good option there for Oliver Cunningham.
Yeah, now Simon's begging his team to stay up. I don't know what the exact response would have been if that one didn't drop, but it did. There's a bit of a head clash there between both players. A rip through.
Now Fogarty, interim Cooper here. Cooper works his way through. Now Purdon putting on some moves. Nice pass in the Fogarty.
Get out of here!
By Simons. No, foul on the play here. It's going to be assessed on Lockie Simons, and a technical foul has been called on Tashara as well too.
It looked like from live action, look clean. Referees have called that one a block. And then the indirect and inappropriate questioning, I would say, is...
And Tashara needs to... he'll have a seat.
Is the technical foul there. So we will get 3 free throws on that one there. Tashara's first foul. Minute 13 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Cooper, I'm assuming yes for the technical.
Yep, so he will take the technical free throw, and now we'll go to the last point of play, which was the shooting foul.
And I'm just looking around as well. We've got Matt Bennell has just walked in as well, Chargers assistant coach, and Brad Vanderkamp is also here, Chargers assistant coach. So it is a full Chargers flavour for this grand finale, this final game coming up.
Absolutely. As Fogarty misses the first, 11 points our margin, minute 13 remaining here.
Miracles can happen, Ronnie.
Yeah, as we've said throughout the day, we've seen stranger things happen, JB, so you never know. Meanwhile, Nibs did a good job of pulling that O-board in. Now goes baseline, kick out pass, Cooper. Now Linden.
For the dagger.
Yes. That pretty much says it all there with the crowd. Now chopping for the response. He's short on that one. And Linden with the rebound.
And things have just settled once again. And for the Revs, it's just getting through this shot clock and getting a shot up. Another rough pass there from Cooper. Oh,
now,
not again.
Purdon, that missed everything. Simons gets the rebound and last touch by Glenorchy. Tashara coming back in here. And Lockie Simons coming off for a breather.
A well-earned breather too.
And full credit to Lockie Simons. He done a terrific job individually to keep Hobart in this ball game, JB.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a tremendous game there. Really worked his backside off and all that hard work paying off after a really tough individual season for him as well. Unfortunately, won't get the full chocolates today, but you know, there was enough of a sample size there to say that Hobart will be back next year.
Absolutely. MacGyver working down low, one-on-one with Cooper. Not a bad match-up there, and MacGyver with a nice finish.
And good to see the Hobart crowd still heavily involved in this one, as well as Hobart. The Revs look to get this across the timeline, and they do. And Hobart still hustling, though. They're not letting this one wander.
No, they're certainly not. No, they're wanting to play it out, which is good to see.
And Hobart are going to get this ball back. 9.9 remaining, 12 points. So Hobart just want to get this one in as quick as they can.
So Hobart will try and get a final score here to either make the margin 10 or 9 as we are pretty much done proceedings here as Cunningham goes up for the floater off glass. Can't get it to go. And Glenorchy have pulled off the win and get it done by 12 points, 79-67. Congratulations to Glenorchy for being under 16 champions.
Massive. And Ronnie, can I just get you to get up that score line again from their game during the season? Because I just want to remind people of this. The result here is 79-67 in favour of the Revs.
It was a
94-59 win to the Hobart Phoenix when they played off earlier in the season.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal turnaround and change of events in this one here. And again, the late part of that third term really swung momentum in favour of the Revellers, who started hitting shots left, right and centre and had everything fall their way. There was nothing they couldn't do wrong. Ronnie, we'll leave you for trophy duties there. And what a game, what a comeback. A massive, massive win there to the Revellers, who lead and win this one by 12. A credit to Hobart, who really tried hard and persevered, but just couldn't get things to go their way. And that is a 3-0 sweep to the Revs in senior grand finals here on the show court today. That will be the last we see of them today. Hobart backing up here in the under-18s. And the Kingborough Huon Kings on their own floor will look to secure a senior premiership here again. Final scores in this one, 79-67. The Glenorchy Revs win the under-16s championship grand final by 12 points. We're about to have presentations once again. Thank you for joining us here on the West Coast Ball Connection. We will take a short break and get ready for presentations, and then our game afterwards. We will join you then. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have one game to go here at the Kingborough Sports Centre on TJBL South Conference Grand Final Gala weekend. Day one action in the final game of the afternoon. It will be the Kingborough Huon Kings taking on the Hobart Phoenix. Of course, Kingborough into their first championship grand final for the weekend. For Hobart, this will be their second after going down to the Revellers in the last game on this stream. So the Revellers go 3-0 in grand finals for today. Referees Jack Woolcock, Jordan Cooper. And we are underway here. Tip goes in favour here of Hobart. Will Davey now with the first possession of the ball. And they're going to be looking to get something underway here as soon as they can. Ball through, sets of hands through to Sarah. Receives it back out again inside. Big basket there to start with as Deng gets the first there. And for Kingborough, they're going to be looking to get their first points on the board. Clark and Clark, the twins. Ball through hands through Rogers. In turn to Stewart, guarded by screened by Strathmore, I should say. That one deflected out of bounds. Of course, crowd slightly dissipated here. The left grandstand was full of Reveller supporters for the first 6 hours of the day. And now just a small crowd as the day is winding down. Strathmore goes inside, can't do it. Deng saves that one. Back over to Davey, who's looking to make some moves around the court where he can. Hands over to Moore, who drives. Baseline back to Deng. And turn to Lennon. Davey wants to hand off. Does that one over to Tassara, who goes himself. Can't get that one to go. As Noah Clark gets the rebound there. Strathmore goes through the lane. Big steps. Gets that one to finish. And a tie ball game here. Ronnie on refereeing duties now in the final game in the Shield Grand Final on the other floor. Let's hope he holds up well through that one. Another big day again tomorrow for Ronnie. Clark now with the ball. Corner three doesn't go. Deng with the rebound, taken away from Rogers. As Davey with Moore goes to Tassara himself. Hesitation dribble, goes up. Clark says, get out of here. It was Noah Clark. Save now Rogers, back over to Noah Clark. He's got Xavier in support. Goes himself. Kick out over to Stewart. Stewart by name, makes the shot. Stewart by nature, bottom of the net. Extends this one out to 3. 5-2 our margin. Strathmore just fighting for that one there. To Sarah. Back to Lennon, who goes to square up. Goes down to Deng, who's looking to put some fight in as well. Lennon back over to Moore. Moore hesitant. Goes inside on the dribble. Splits the defence. Takes contact. Going to the left of screen. Coaches Anthony Stewart and Corey Davey. .46 remaining here in the first term. The final game of our coverage today, day one of the Gala weekend, grand final weekend. As Strathmore wants to go himself, does. Can't work through contact. Moore cleans up the scraps now. TJBL South Conference grand final weekend, the Gala weekend. Davey for 3, back iron, no good. Rebound, Noah Clark. Wants to go himself, tries to draw the defence. Nice left-handed finish down the lane. And now pressing up are the Kings. Zave Clark goes to stop that. Round the back, Davey to Lennon. Couple of big steps, get out of here, says Strathmore. Nails that one there. Moore now from deep, got it, bottom of the net. 2-point ball game. 7-5, still 7 minutes remaining here in the first term. Rogers freely up the floor. Still has hands there. Zave Clark, or Noah Clark I should say, goes up, nothing there. There's Moore now with the ball, loses it. That one off hands from Tassara, and it will be Kings basketball. Of course, results going the way of the Revellers under 12s, 14s and 16s at championship level so far. Not competing here in the 18s, but Kings on a home court advantage, so to speak. Looking to get it done. Rogers has both Clark brothers in support. Utilises the screen. Rogers to Clark again. Drives baseline, wants to go up, fights through contact. And one opportunity there. Big basket there by Zave Clark. He'll go to the line for one. As Stewart speaks to Stewart. So the arguments continue there. And one opportunity. Shots up and shot is good there. Zave Clark making the first. 10-5 our scoreline as Moore pushes through. Goes over to Charlie Lennon, who pulls up for 3 points. Can't get that one. As Noah Clark clears the glass. Sorry, Zave Clark. I'll get it right here at some point. That's Noah baseline. No look past Jordan Stratsma up and under. $1 million move, 5-cent finish. Couldn't get that one to drop. As Lennon saves that one over to Davey. Round his back broadcast side. Threads an evil. Charlie Lennon down the lane again. $1 million worth of move, 5 cents worth of finish. As Noah Clark goes through, fights through contact. He'll go to the line for two as Austin Douglas looks to check in. Looks to check in as Cal Rogers heads out. Good round of applause as he heads to the bench. Free throw is good. Of course, Clark communicating there with Stratsma. School buddies and teammates here. Always shooting hoops together. Will Davey down the floor. Has Lennon in support. Utilises that screen as Davey over to Deng. Goes to Tassara. Can't make that one. Passes over to Davey, who looks to create for himself. Tassara again off glass. No good. Rebound by Douglas. Turn Noah Clark there. Over to Stewart. Can't get that one to fall. Thankfully, I've got the team list there, which has helped me as well. A ball now with Hobart. Sets of hands once again. The drive by Lennon over to Tassara. Again over to Moore. Wants to pull up. Looking for some support. Goes to Charlie Lennon. Uses his size. Gets down the lane. Nice basket. 7-12 our scoreline here. 4:45 remaining first term. TJBL South Conference Grand Final day. This is your under-18 championship men. As substitutions look to come in. Charlie Banks looking to go in here for the Kings. Ball going through. Sets of hands. Clark. Three. Bang. Bottom of the net. The Kings extend this one out by 8. Once again, 15-7. Pressing defence here by the Kings, but Will Davey breaks that freely and gets into the half court. Luke Moore pulls the trigger really quickly, and that will be a foul, Aussie Douglas. Now, will that be on the floor or will that be shooting? It will be on the baseline. Substitution, Charlie Banks checking in. And Lockie Simon's doubling up. He's coming into the game as well. Tassara heads out. 4:19 remaining. Under-18 Championship Men's Grand Final here in the South. Kingston lead 15-7. Deng battling inside. Couldn't get it as Clark saves that one. That will be a take foul there from Simons. Again, backing up after a fantastic game in the Under-16 Grand Final. To no avail as the Revellers 3-0 in championship play here today in men's competition. Again, you are tuning into the final game. Under-18 Championship men here today. Kings in control, 15-7. Stratsma with the ball, goes to Douglas. Wants to square up himself, doesn't. Kicks over. Clark, three, bang, bottom of the net. Massive shot there by Noah Clark. Extends this one out by 11, 18-7. Again, the Kings continuing to press as Noah Clark hustling, and that will be the other way. Foul there on Lennon, just taking the legs on the contact. And a timeout has been taken here by Hobart. And they trail this one 7-18. Thanks to Basketball Tasmania here on the West Coast Ball Connection. TJBL South Conference Grand Final day for the boys. 3:49 remaining here in the first term. 18-7 our scoreline here, as we get a little bit of ambience at the timeout. Again, a nice Hobart crowd in supporting their team, and some Kings supporters amongst them as well. Again, Ronnie over refereeing the Shield Grand Final. A massive day backing up tomorrow as well here for both the West Coast Ball Connection and Chargers TV. West Coast Ball Connection will have 3 of the 4 Women's Championship Grand Finals live here on the West Coast Ball Connection. And then you will get the older age groups covered in retrospect with commentary from Ronnie and myself later during the week, as we then rush to cover NBL 1 action on the NBL 1 app and the NBL 1 website. Big move inside Strathmore, 20-7. 3:35 remaining here, and again the Kings pressing defensively. The signature Anthony Stewart defence as they go to thread it. Lennon to Simons, has Deng in support, wants to go himself, was bodied there by Strathmore, who managed to collect the loose ball, manages to get through, kicks over to Clark. Anthony Stewart pleading for his players to cut and move. Noah to Zave, Zave to Noah, the Clark connection not quite there, deflected out of bounds. As Archie Stewart looks to check into this one. And also checking in will be Campbell Mounter, as Deng heads out for this one. Foul trouble here for Hobart as well. Any more defensive fouls will see the Kings in the bonus, and they are loaded full of shooters as well. Ball through sets of hands here for Hobart. Lennon looking for more, doesn't use him, goes to Davey instead. It's Will Davey, son of Corey Davey, coaching the team and a former Charger, and an offensive foul has been called here on Hobart for the fend off there from Davey. And that will be Kings basketball. So every foul from here will see Kings to the free throw line. There's Banks now with the ball over to Stewart. Has Strathmore in support. Goes himself again over to Noah Clark. Was doubled. Skip past Austin Douglas, who drives baseline. Has support. Pass was there to Stewart, not used. Once again, more battling through. And that will be a foul on Banks. Substitution as Clark heads out of the game. Checking into this one is an update required. Just try and clarify that one there. Hobart get the basket, 20-10. As Strathmore goes baseline, doesn't. Ball through sets of hand. Banks, Stewart. As shot clock violation goes through there, that'll be Campbell Baker that has checked into the game there. Number 0 is Campbell, not Campbell Baker, but 31 is Campbell Baker. So a good little passage of play here for Hobart, who get the stop and get the basket. They're now looking to get the return as players fight for that one there. No clear sense of direction. So that'll be a Hobart basketball once again on the baseline. 1:42 remaining. Again, apologies in the play there. Just getting clarification on a player number. 31 is in fact Campbell Baker. So restart play on the baseline. 102 seconds remaining first term. Kings lead this 20-10. Lennon saves that one there. Goes up himself. Big defensive stop there by Strathmore, who jumps straight up, clears that away. Banks to Stratsma. Has Stewart in support, but goes himself. Big step through there. Couldn't get it to fall. Fights through more contact. Wants a second, third opportunity. Looking to slow down. Stewart goes to pop at the 3. Steps through, takes contact. Feed down to Douglas, who was blocked away nicely there by the Hobart player. Big block there by Mounter. And more good defence there from Hobart. A strong defensive display in this one here. Substitutions checking into the game. Matty McInnes as Austin Douglas heads out. Yeah. No, definite confirmation that is Campbell Baker in the 31 jersey. Matty McInnes has checked in to this one. Charlie Lennon now goes to Lockie Simons, son of Chris Simons. Luke Moore now, ball handling duties here, has Mounter in support. Goes Davey, and that will be the offensive foul for the illegal screen. Just had a hold there, and that looked like a warning towards the Hobart bench. I don't think there was anything in it. So a minute remaining, 20-10 the scoreline. Clock is live now. It's Banks back to Stratsma. Looking for support. Has McInnes. Goes himself though, step through, skip out pass. Stewart out deep, goes the drive himself, floats that one up and under, couldn't get that to go. Stratsma out of the clouds, looking for another big rebound. Stewart tried to hang in the air on that one. Baker back to Stratsma once again. Ball going through sets of hands. Stratsma for 3. Bottom of the net. 23-10 our score line here. Hobart being pressed up once again. Davey breaks through that though quite easily within 30 seconds here. The end of the first term. Davey stepping back, fading away. Baseline. Attempted a pass, we would say. Try and make things polite. Down is Matty McInnes, who just gets his size inside. Was defended well. That'll be a travelling violation. Hobart really trying to recover on the defensive end here. Trying to just get one more basket here to end this quarter. 13.6 remaining. What can be produced? Simons now wants support. Goes to Moore. 6 seconds on the clock. And that will be a foul on Banks. Stewart and Davey just pestering one another. Mounter into Moore. Has 3 seconds. Has 2 seconds from the car park. Was fouled. With exactly 1 second on the clock, it'll be 3 free throws. Matty McInnes with a foul. That's a warning. Referees have had great control of our games so far. Moore makes the first of 3. Cuts it to 12. Potential to keep this at 10 points. Makes the second. Three of 3 by Luke Moore. So that's a 10-point ball game, and that will be deflected. And they've called quarter time on that one there. So quarter time, 23-13. And Hobart rallying a little bit there towards the end of that quarter. Kings still in control. Certainly not by a margin that they would want. But they are tracking nicely in this one as well. Again, the last game here, TJBL South Conference Grand Final weekend. Our gala weekend for the juniors in the South. And of course, your first 3 games. So the under 12, 14 and 16 championship men's decided in favour of the Revs. Hobart not prevailing in the game prior, but looking to avenge that loss here against a heavily favoured Kings side. Both Anthony Stewart and Dwayne Davey going at one another, both veterans of the sport. Of course, Anthony coaching Archie, Corey coaching Will. Corey having been a stalwart of the Phoenix Basketball Club, a life member for many, many, many years. Only recently stopped playing. And as many know, the coaching caper for Stewie has been it for the last decade or so. Has garnered plenty of success. Can it bring an under-18s championship here? We will see. Second quarter about to get underway. As it's Rogers, Stewart, Stratsma and the Clark twins. For the Kings as Stewart puts up the shot, no good. Stratsma fighting down low. Again, couldn't do it. It's Mounter, Davey, Lennon, Moore and Simons for Hobart. Plenty of familiar names and faces for both squads. Lennon to Simons. Simons had a really nice under-16s campaign this year. Even hampered by injuries as Moore gets that one to fall. Wanted some contact there. And he's had a really nice strong start here, Luke Moore. This one's back to 8, 23-15. It's Clark in turn to his brother. Ball through sets of hands. Rogers, Stratsma. In turn over to Stewart, who drives baseline. Gets the finish there, Archie Stewart. 10-point margin once again. Of course, that Stewart name so well known for its three-point shooting. As Lennon over to Simons. Couldn't get that one to fall. As Rogers with the rebound needs some support. Needs players to approach him. They don't, but Stratsma manages to connect the dots. Good passing, though, straight up the floor to the Kings. Great execution offensively, and Anthony Stewart more relieved than pleased, showing that this game plan can work. Simons now at the floor once again to Mounter inside to Davey, who gets the easy response. The transition defence key here for the Kings as well. 10 points once again, 27-17, 8:30 remaining here in the second term. Stewart wants to go again, goes over to Rogers, in turn to Stratsma. Was on an island by himself, steps through, draws contact. Plays his way through it nicely though. 29-17, back out to a 12-point margin. And again, Stewart just imploring his team. They're looking for man defence here, as you can hear. Moore back to Davey, 1-2 punch. Davey for three, back iron, couldn't get it. Simons recovers to Lennon, who uses that size, playing almost the 5 in this squad, but could easily be playing anywhere down to the 3. Luke Moore for 3. Bit of a heat check moment there. Had 5 quick points following free throws and a 2. Saved by Clark, back to Stewart. They managed to keep this in play. Back to Stratsma. From one Clark to another, it is not, as Stratsma saves that in the lane. Up and under, gets that one to drop. And again, Hobart being pressured defensively here as Lennon saves that one. Getting up and down the floor, a backwards and forwards kind of game here at the moment as Lennon forced his way inside. Was not rewarded on that one. Substitutions into the game is Deng. He will come in for Mounter, who will take a break. $14-point margin here, 31-17 in favour of the Kings. Still 7:30 remaining in the second term. And what has been a reasonable game despite the margin. As Moore recovers that, he has been everywhere over to Deng. Has the lane crowded on him immediately, wants to step through, does, up and under is good. Nice shot there by Deng. 19 points the margin. Sorry, 19 the score, I should say. Margin at 12. And the Kings really getting balls through sets of hands. Rogers wanted to pull up at the top of the 3, doesn't. Stratsma unguarded out on the elbow, gets through over to Clark. He's covered out nicely by Davey. Has to kick the ball once again. Stewart gets inside, back over to Rogers. Good closeout by Hobart. The defence pays off there, but second chance opportunities are still on the offensive glass. Stewart to Clark, who wanted to pull up, couldn't do it. Get through Moore, drives through the contact. That one came off a set of Hobart legs. Baseline play now for the Kings. Just a real sense of silence in this game at the moment. Both crowds watching and benches watching patiently. Ball needs to go in, and it does, to the wrong set of hands though, as Davey steals that one in the passing lane for the Phoenix. Down to Deng, who wants to go up himself. Does, but was knocked away there by Clark. Big defensive stop there as Stewart works his way down the floor, uses that speed, barrels inside, wants to go up and under, can't. Again back out to Clark, to Rogers, to another Clark. This ball going inside and an offensive foul on the fend-off. Basket is waved away. Foul committed there by Noah Clark. So Hobart with a chance to reset. 12-point ball game. It's been the rough buffer for most of the afternoon in this game. Ball continuing to go through sets of hands as mentioned. Lennon wants to go himself, uses that size and frame, gets inside, and that will be an offensive foul. Charging down the lane, taking the charge there was Rogers, who was cleaned up again after that. An offensive foul taken there. 6:07 remaining, second term. Up and down the floor. Once again, Rogers over to Noah Clark, who steps up over the top to Stratsma, who gets the defender in the air, blocked away by Deng. Stratsma trying to save that. He's knocked that off the Hobart player. Sorry, that was Clark trying to save that, knocking it off the Hobart player. Substitutions, Matty McInnes checking in. Jordan Stratsma goes out. Nice replacement there in Matty McInnes. Stewart looking to get it in, does to Rogers. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Shot needs to go up. Doesn't. Does late. It will count. Referee saw it off in time. It's Davey now with the ball. Still 5:30 remaining here in the second term. Through sets of hands. Lennon through traffic. Splits the C there and gets that one to drop. So a 10-point margin. Hobart pressing up defensively here, just wanting to push the Kings. Noah Clark just loses that one there. Substitution, Charlie Banks coming into the game for Archie Stewart, who heads out for a spell. So Banks now receives off Rogers, in turn over to Zave Clark. Zave wants to step back. He's not guarded. Plenty of space. Front rim doesn't go. Rogers rebounds that one. Wants to go back to Zave. Doesn't. Goes to Charlie Banks, who saves that one. Back to Rogers. Back to Xavier Clark once again, who goes up. Floats that one. No good. Rebound by Deng, who goes back to Davey. And they're on the transition here once again. Hobart, 10-point ball game. Jordan Stratsma looking to check back into this one. Simons for three. Bang. Bottom of the net. And that makes it a 7-point game here for Hobart. As Noah Clark gets up the floor quickly here. Sorry, Zave. Noah now with the ball. Back to Zave. He splits the defence, goes himself open lane, didn't. Goes back to his brother Noah. Back in turn to Xavier. Can someone else get involved? They can't. An offensive foul, dropping the shoulder straight into the defender's chest. As the substitutions come in, Rogers and Xavier head out. Heading in, Stewart and Stratsma. Through sets of hands once again. Hobart can sense an opportunity to bring this one back within reach as Moore nearly loses the handle. Recovers back to Davey. 4 minutes remaining. Second term. TJBL South Conference Under-18 Grand Final. Matt McInnes manages to save that one away from Stratsma. So they're playing a taller lineup here, Hobart. Almost a 4-on-1 height lineup with Banks out there on the floor as well. And a timeout has been taken. The timeout is going to Hobart. So with 3:56 remaining here in the second term, Hobart with a timeout trail the Kings 24-31. And, of course, the game of basketball is bigger than just the 4 lines and the 2 hoops on the court. We all know that takes a community and a tremendous group of individuals for this game to function. And at the moment, we have one of our own in the basketball community who needs our support. Very recently, an under-16 boys shield player of the Grenadiers Basketball Club, Nate Howcroft, was diagnosed with an aggressive stage 4 B-cell lymphoma. His family have had to urgently relocate to Melbourne for his intensive treatment, which is likely to take 6 to 9 months. Over the TJBL Grand Final weekend, there will be a door entry collection at Kingston Stadium with all donations to go to the family. Please dig deep. Nate's teammates and friends will be there at the entrance to the show courts with collection buckets. So please toss in some coins or better still, some notes. Be great to see the basketball community get behind Nate and his lovely family. They really need our love and support. Thank you very much. And, of course, a big shout-out to Nate Howcroft, his family and his friends and everyone during this tough time. We were all there for you, Nate. And we send nothing but our best wishes to you and those around you as well. Back in the game here. It's the Kings lead this one 31-24. Hobart have burnt their timeouts in this half. 31-24. No look pass there by Davey. Over to Simons, who draws contact. (3-1) the foul count. 3:29 remaining. Davey now. Looking to go to work. Over to Banks. Sorry, not over to Banks. Over to Moore. Goes inside to Deng. Over the top there. Lennon, no good. Rebound by Banks, who goes up the floor once again. Utilising that himself, goes to Stewart. In turn, continues to move. Skips through sets of hands there. Noah Clark for three. Corner. Can't get the friendly roll. Matt McInnes over the top. Couldn't get that one to go. Rebounded there by Hobart. So Luke Moore with possession once again over to Davey. Still a 7-point ball game. Hobart clawing their way back. Substitutions called there by the Kings. We'll get that one into the game very shortly. That will be Zave Clark. Cleared out by Matt McInnes over to Archie Stewart, who's weaving his way through traffic. Wants to go himself. Can't quite get that one to fall. In turn, Will Davey once again. And that will be a carry violation. As Xavier Clark checks in for Noah Clark. Ball in sets of hands. Over to Banks, who hook pass over to McInnes. Kicks that one over to Stratsma, who wants some help, who goes over to Clark. Goes over to Zave. Crossovers happen. Bottom of the net too. A lot of noise made from the Hobart crowd and those watching on that one. Massive crossover result there as Tashara, the unfortunate victim there, as Moore wants the response, can't get it done, and maybe that's the spark the Kings need just to keep things going once again. McInnes wants to go himself. Back over to Clark, back over to Banks, back over to Stratsma. Ball movement. Stewart, three, round the world. Heat check moment there for the Kings. As Moore now goes to settle. Try and slow things down a little bit here through Simons. Over to Deng, who wants to get inside. Was looking for Tassara or Moore, couldn't do it. As Banks gets up the floor with ease. Over to McInnes, who slows things down, back to Banks. Turn to Stratsma, who wants to feed through. Can't. Banks recovers that one there. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Back over to Stratsma, who goes himself hard down the lane. Strong finish there by Geordie Stratsma. And this one's now back out to 11, 35-24. And the Kings really pressing up defensively here. Lennon works his way back through the traffic. Looking to slow down to Stewart. Gets the steal there. Works his way down the floor. Loses the handle. Recovered there to Zave Clark, who had contact there. Just the second foul committed there by Hobart for the quarter. Substitutions now checking in for the Kings. Back to substitutions both ways. Darcy Allen checking in as Banks checks out, and Mounter checking in for Lennon, and a timeout taken by Coach Stewart. So again, timeout taken here. 58.1 remaining here in the first half. Under-18s Championship Grand Final. And it is the Kingborough Kings leading this one by 11 now. Margin was as close as 7, but big crossover move there and a nice finish has seen that one extended out once again. 35-24. Hobart still on the drawing board, but certainly not out of this game. As things continue to build. Inbounds play now from the timeout. As Xavier Clark goes into Stratsma. Wants to go himself, doesn't. Back over to Allen. Seeing his first minutes. Stewart, Stratsma, Allen puts up the shot. Nothing but air. And that one touched last by the Kings. 43.5 remaining here in the first half. 36-24, it's a 12-point ball game. We have had scores adjusted here. Again, 36-24. Tassara wants to get that one into Moore. In turn to Simons. Simons going to do his own work here. Back over to Tassara, who passes over to Allen, who catches that one straight into the lap of Anthony Stewart, who's just trying to test the referees. Not in his usual sense, I would suggest. It's Tassara now with the ball. To Allen, who gets his hand in. It's made a bit of a reaching foul there, so that's only the third for the Kings. And that'll be a backcourt violation off the inbound. And the Kings will reset from halfway. We'll see what they can come up with here. As Stratsman looks to go baseline. Doesn't. Darcy Allen kicks that one over to Zave Clark, who goes to McInnes, who watches his opponent go by, saves that one second time, manages to get the score there. And again, ball through sets of hands. Hobart up here to Sarah, to Moore, to Mounter. Couldn't get that one to fall. And that will be half-time. 38-24, a 14-point margin at the half sees the Kings with the lead. We'll take a really short break here and be back with the second half momentarily. Thanks, mate. Second half about to get underway here. A shout out to Aaron Debnam, who's letting me know that his Shield Under-12 boys went undefeated throughout the season. So a shout out to Aaron. Thank you for bombarding my inbox. Second half underway here. It's Hobart now with the ball, and they're just in the front court. It's Davey now with the ball. Hobart trailing by 14. Ball through sets of hands. Moore puts up the three. Looks good. Back iron as Allen fights for the ball there. Couldn't get that one. Fighting through Davey. Second opportunity. Tassara goes up. Lucas Rodman comes into that one. That one's deflected out of bounds. Substitutions coming into the game. Darcy Allen heads out after some nice minutes there. Inbound by Mountar, and that will be a backcourt violation. And the Kings will now take possession through Rogers on the inbound. It will be Rogers over to Xavier Clark. Stratsma to Noah Clark. Pulls up for three. Bottom of the net. Big basket there in combination by the Clarks. And the pressure now once again by the Kings is extensive. 17 points our margin. Tassaro deflected there by Stratsma. And Corey Davey is frustrated with the way his team's playing at the moment. Come in a little slower than they expected in this grand final. Certainly in this opening 45 seconds of the half. 41-24. Looking to get the ball inside. 5-second violation though. Took too long to get that one. As Deng heads to the bench. Looks to check in again and does. So Stratsman now with the ball for the Kings. They lead by 17, 41-24. Wants to go himself. Noah Clark in the corner has stepped out of bounds. And the question being asked, Anthony Stewart thought it was close. Stewie's asking for a replay. I'll let you know we're on delay here. We'll soon find out. Let's quickly have a look. And yes, he was confirmed out of bounds. Someone let Anthony know he was out of bounds. No, as the play keeps going through, some physical play there from Hobart. Yep. We're on delay. It was out of bounds. I believe there's been a disagreement on the replay. Thank you very much for the commentary there, Anthony. He's probably preparing for another media stint in the NBL again this season. And that one's going the other way. (41-24), 8:50 remaining here, third term. Ball over to Noah Clark, who's going to control this one from the top, guarded by Tassara. Goes to Stewart in the far wing, who wants to go himself. Goes over to Zave Clark. Back over to Rogers, back to Noah Clark from deep, doesn't take it. Works the screen to Rogers, the step through. Archie Stewart out wide for three. That one was inbounds, the shot was not. That one deflected from behind. Noah Clark does not agree with that one. As this one's continuing to move here through Moore, broadcast side. Rogers momentarily distracted as Rodman gets inside, can't quite get the deep catch. Taken away by Clark. Over to Zave Clark, who goes the polite little one-handed layup. I was going to whip out a favourite phase there, but however, that did not occur. A nice little one-handed layup there. He tried the 2K dunk, didn't work. Moore went to thread the needle, that didn't work. Stratsma takes that one away, and that will be a foul. And the question's going to be whether this is unsportsman or not. And it is an unsporty foul. Foul is committed. So subs in. That'll be an unsportsmanlike foul. An attempt on the man and not the ball. Just got to look down on that one once again. So Stratsman going to the line. 7:58 remaining in the third. Manages to get that one to fall to Stratsma. Inbound ball from the top of the three-point line here for the Kings, who now lead this by 20. 44-24. It's Noah Clark. Just to go himself. Goes over to Xavier Clark instead, who wanted the one-handed jam before. Couldn't get that one. Corner, though, looks okay from Rogers. That one couldn't fall. Reset once again. Communication error almost for the Kings as Stratsma hangs that one out. Steps through with those long legs. Contact was made on the drive. He'll go to the line for two. As the foul there committed by Davey. Substitution is Lennon checking back in. Davey heading out for a spell. Stratsma for the line around the world. Couldn't make the first one. Goes to the line, gets the second. 21-point lead now to the Kings. Game high margin. Looking in control here in the third term. Moore now with the ball, defended tightly. Deflected there. Saved by Hobart. No, it was not. Deflected out of bounds. Kings ball once again on the baseline. Ball there, Noah Clark. Works his way up the floor very quickly indeed. Pass not there, recovered by Lennon, no, as Stewart takes that one, almost a backcourt violation as Xavier Clark goes himself, draws the contact, couldn't get that one to fall. Simon's fighting for that one over to Moore once again, as Moore kicks to Rodman, who wants to go up. Fouls were there on the drive, and he will go to the line for two, as Charlie Banks looks to check back into this game. Substitutions are recognised as Xavier Clark heads out for a spell. Rodman to the line, 2 of 2. Nice shooting there by young Lucas. Relishing his time on the court here in the final. 45-26, 19-point margin still in favour of the Kings. Ball through sets of hands once again. Rogers give and go with Stewart, who wants to pull up. Back over to Rogers, doesn't square up, goes past Moore, goes inside. Stewart from the car park. Round the world no good as Rodman recovers that one there. Deflected there by Noah Clark, who saves that, threads the needle over to Banks, over to Stewart. Good team ball there by the Kings, and they get the reward there with Stewart off the glass. 21-point lead now, 47-26. And Hobart now somewhat stuck in the mud, still waiting around that 20-odd point margin. Ball through sets of hands once again. As Simons knocks that three ball down, a lovely finish there. Kicks this one back out to 18 as Noah Clark out to Jordan Stratsma. Response there, 3 for 3. Back and forth on the shooting here. Back out to 21 points as Moore goes over the top. Ball lost there though. The Kings will recover that one. They get back up the floor here through Stratsma. Steps through the traffic, goes high off glass as Rodman recovers that one here. Lennon picks up his dribble, needs to get it to Moore, does, who works his way through, trying to keep the handle over the top. As Lennon once again, almost a nutmeg as Rodman high off glass, gets that one to fall. Good pressure throughout. Stratsma recovers the ball back over to Banks here. Douglas and McInnes look to check in. Stewart getting up and inside, but too many tall trees to work through as Lennon and Rodman. Rogers, Stratsma head out. Douglas and McInnes check in. And it's a 19-point ball game. 5:30 remaining here in the third. Over the top to Douglas, who recovers that one there. Goes to Stratsma. In turn to Douglas, who goes again, was fouled on the drive. He'll go to the line for two. Substitutions are once again coming in. Campbell Baker is in for Archie Stewart. Will Davey looking to check in for Moore, who is staying in. No, it's Lucas Rodman whose head's out. Just to confirm that one. Douglas can't get that one to fall. Again, you have been watching TJBL South Conference Grand Final Gala Weekend, Day 1. Under 12s, 14s and 16s, championship men going to the Revs. And at this stage, with a 20-point lead, and that will be a reaching foul on Noah Clark, you would have to suggest that championship men will be going to the Kings. Charlie Lennon now with the ball. To Moore. Moore looking to create. Does. Step back three. Front iron no good. Deng fighting for the ball. Recovers that one. Goes the step through himself. Nice creative move there by Deng. Good hustle. Good second, third opportunities there. Really capitalised. Back to 18 now. This ball getting through. Drive there by Baker. Turn to Noah Clark. Wants to use the screen for McInnes. Does, and he manages to weave some magic himself. McInnes over the top. Gets the offensive rebound. Gets that one to fall as well. Back to a 20-point margin. The Kings consistently keeping a buffer on this one. And that will be off ball. And that'll be on Banks for a push. That'll be the fourth team foul. Substitution as Noah Clark heads out. Zave Clark heads in. He thought it was a foul on himself. However, it was not. So that is only, I thought that would be 4 team fouls. It is in fact only 3. We'll keep posted on that one. No, it is 4 team fouls. So 4 team fouls either way. Both sides heading towards the penalty. As Jeng heads in, nice basket there. Again, back to 18 points. Hobart showing some spirit. Continuing to fight through this game here. Banks to Xavier Clark. Skip pass over to Matty McInnes, who saves that one there. He's been absolutely hassled by everyone here on the Hobart squad. Xavier wants to go in, doesn't. Davey saves that one. Scrappy affair there by the Kings. Hobart make them pay. As Davey wants to make them pay on the scoreboard. Gets a nice friendly roll off glass. And a timeout has been taken there by Coach Anthony Stewart. And we're going to see a bit of a bulk substitution here, and I dare say a bit of a speech by Coach Stewart, who, although leading this game by 16, is still wanting some perfect execution. And a really calm huddle here for Hobart as well, as Corey Davey talks and pleads with his men, looking to get some extra motivation out of them as well. Of course, if you are tuning into our last game, Ronnie is on referee duties on the far side of the court. So 53-37 the score. $16 points is the score line. So return to play here. The Kings with the ball on the baseline. Anthony Stewart wanting some more work and some more execution out of his players, despite the comfortable lead they currently have. He can sense something, needs some adjustments. So Banks now with the ball. It'll be Banks, Xavier, Noah, Stratzma and Stewart in this one. The Stratzma wants to go himself, goes to Banks. Ball through sets of hands. Noah Clark pulls up for 3. Front iron no good. Battling for the rebound there. Stratzma manages to come up with the scrap. Second opportunity here. Can Stewart capitalise in the corner? He cannot. Back iron. Rebound by Davey. Transition there over to Simons, who goes to pull up where he can in transition. Nothing but glass, but out of the clouds comes Deng. He can't clean that one up. The Kings come away with the board through Stewart over the top to Clark, who goes himself with the left hand. Noah Clark at the rim there. A nice athletic finish, back to 18 points. There's Davey now with the ball. as they wrestle for the jump ball there. Both players still fighting for the ball. Strathmore and Lennon, no love lost there in that battle. Bit of a smile. As Matt McInnes goes to check back in here. So Matty McInnes checking in and Charlie Banks heading out. So ball now through Clark. So I said I should just keep going Xavier and Noah, we both know. Xavier to Noah. Goes the crossover himself. Goes to Strathmore. To Zave. And there's going to be a rebounding foul here. And that will be on Noah for the push, and that will be a foul. And because it's over the limit, we'll be going to the line as Douglas checks in. There's a foul check there as Noah heads out. Foul shot is no good there for Simons. And gets the second to drop. So 17-point ball game here. Still 2:20 remaining in the third term. Strathmore over to McInnes. And that will be Walkies. No passport on that travel. Ball through sets of hands as Moore starts this one. Looking to create. Goes to Lennon. Turnover to Simons, who goes the drive himself. High arcing. Gets the finish there in the lane. Back to 15 points here for Hobart. 2 minutes remaining in the third. As Strathmore manages to work through on the contact. Looking for some support. Gets it. Xavier, 3. Front iron, no good. Rebound by Deng. He's got more in support. Slows it up. In turn to Davey. As Lennon approaches on the screen. That one's not used. Davey himself over to Moore. Moore beats Douglas off the dribble. Goes off glass. Wanted contact. Couldn't get it. Strathmore saves that one. He's guarded by Deng. He goes low on the hip of the opponent as Deng gets the deflection there. Hustling for the basketball. Hobart recover that one there. Davey wants the step back defender in his face. Got it! Bottom of the net! And that just makes things interesting. 12 points remaining. Still a minute 30 or so in this quarter. And Kingborough just being forced into a corner here. So they go the dump down pass to McInnes, who was fouled on the drive there by Lennon. Now the question's going to be made here from the players, or from the referees on the question. And it is 2 free throws. So they were just confirming everything there. As substitutions head into the game. As Solomon Odwogo looking to check in on the foul shooter as McInnes goes to the line. Flatters attack but makes the first. Solomon looking for his first minutes tonight. Second one goes in substitutions as Solomon checks into the game. McInnes heads out. Solomon seeing his first minutes. Solomon Odwogo here. On the defensive end immediately. Lennon to Simons. To Moore, not afraid to put up a shot. 14 points is the margin. Moore wanted to. Goes inside to Lennon, who can't quite handle that one. As Xavier manages to pick that one up. Strathmore. Xavier begging for the ball. Still 45 seconds remaining here in the third term. Big up and under there. Strathmore can't get that to go. And Solomon Odwogo flying over the top there. I think he wanted to put back jam. And the over the back will see 2 free throws. As we slowly make our way down the far end for Will Davey. who can't get the first to drop. 14 points. And he misses both free throws there. Austin Douglas cleans up the rebound. Stratzman now with the ball. 35 seconds as Anthony Stewart saying we want a 2-for-1 here, guys, if we can get it. As Xavier Clark wants to go himself, doesn't, goes to Douglas, who floats one up. Can't get that to fall. Second opportunities once again. The Stewart now begging his team to hold it. Goes over to Douglas, who takes the corner jump shot. That one's no good. Rebounded by Deng. Davey now with the ball. Pressure down low, and Clark gets the ball. I suppose we'll call that a one-handed wham bam jam. Thank you, ma'am. He's rattled that one home. 4 seconds to go. Moore just trying to slow down. Lennon's going to get the shot up eventually. He does. Around the world, no good. And at three-quarter time, a 16-point margin in favour of the Kingborough-Huon Kings. 59-43. One more quarter of basketball to go. We'll take a quick breather before we get into the action to end the last. Final term underway here, Kingborough Sports Centre. The Kings lead this one by 16, 59-43. Looking to close out on a grand final win here if they can, but Luke, as Moore wants to do it all himself, and he's unable to. And the Kings looking to just put the final dagger in as Stewart draws contact there and called for a travel. As Anthony Stewart just saying, get the shot up there, don't run into the player. A sense of frustration across the board there. As Davey wants to go the drive, does. Wanted the hand down to Deng. I think they wanted a bit of a jam. So that one didn't come to fruition. Moore now with the ball. Just to go himself, doesn't. Goes to Deng. And that one was stripped away by Stewart in the reach. Made contact with the wrist. (59-43), our scoreline once again. Kings led by 16. Hobart with one last grasp. Davey wants to try and start that one. Can't. Round the world. Big rebound by Deng, who puts the ball on the floor. Call for the travel. That will be a warning. Is that a technical? So technical foul handed there to Corey Davey, who didn't agree with the decision. Had seen a warning there before. So the ladies spring into action. And Zave makes the first. Well, makes the only, I should say. And that'll be a Kings ball down the far end. 17-point margin. Just a quick shout out back home to Queenstown with both reserve and senior football teams in the grand final for 2 consecutive years. Once again, a big shout out to them. Massive effort. I still know what my weekend plans are next Saturday. Stratzman now with the ball. Through sets of hands. Over to Noah. To Rogers. Back to Noah. Wants to go himself, looks inside, gets it, takes contact, athletic drive, can't get that finish. Stratsma's second opportunity though, cleans up the mess, extends this one out to 19, 62-43. Simons to Roadman. Back over to Ding. Had Davey on the support, went Moore instead, who pulls up, floated from 15, lips it over the top. 17-point margin once again. 8:25 remaining here, fourth term. Under-18s Championship Div 1 Grand Final. As a big fight up there for Clark. Xavier was fouled. He will go to the line for 2. 8:19 remaining here in the fourth term. Makes the first. Polite little golf gallery applaud. One of 2, but a second chance opportunity. Stratsman now over to Noah, who goes inside on the athletic drive and the finish. Noah Clark. Back out to a 20-point margin here for the Kings, who are now continuing to press up defensively. Charlie Lennon, talked to him before. He's looking to check back in. As Simons wanted to get that one down, couldn't. Noah has Xavier in support, but Noah just goes himself, was blocked from behind, continues to fight for that ball. That will be a reaching foul. As we have a look here, and that is 5 fouls, Noah Clark. He will head to the bench as Austin Douglas checks in. And a timeout taken here by the Hobart Phoenix. Their first of the final term. Both Coach Stewart and Coach Davey have both taken one of their 3 timeouts in this half. So 20 points is our margin. You would say unassailable. Once it's hit double digits, it's consistently been double digits for most of this game in favour of the Kings, who have had a tremendous season and a tremendously deep team as well. Plenty of talent floating around amongst them to get things done. 65-45 as we mentioned. Again, a tremendous day here at the Kingborough Sports Centre for TJBL Grand Final Gala weekend. The men's section concluding with this game, the Under-18 Championship Grand Final. Of course, the Under-12, 14 and 16 Championship Grand Finals going the way of the Revellers, who did a clean sweep 3 for 3 in men's competition. And a big final here for the Kings in the main event with their main team looking to take out the win as Hobart continue to push through on this one. Ball inbound here for Will Davey right in front of the bench. A 1-2 play immediately works as Davey comes down the floor. Kick out there. Simons for 3. Beautiful execution out of the timeout. 17-point margin here again. The Kings just wanting to sort things out where they can. Again, through sets of hands as Xavier loses that one there. Over to Stratsma, who wants to go inside. Does over to Stewart. As Anthony Stewart slams the clipboard. He's not happy with that. Austin Douglas with the execution. Speaking of execution, Ronnie has returned from his refereeing duties.
He has, yes. Hobart getting a win in a close one against Domino's in the Under-16 Boys Shield Final.
Is there Under-18 Shield Final on over there or no Under-18 Shield?
No, that was the game before. So that was the one where in the 16s final I was mentioning about the live score updates.
Oh, so they shuffled things for you to referee?
Yes.
Well, the power we have here at BTAS TV.
Absolutely.
This one here has been double digits for a majority. Kings in control. Extending that one out now to 21 there. And
Archie Stewart knocks it down there, JB. And as I mentioned earlier in our broadcast, Archie was here last night getting shots up, and obviously it's paid off dividends for him.
Yes, paid off on that particular jump shot. Hasn't had the most consistent of runs offensively today, but it's been a good stomping ground here for the Kings, who Ronnie, as we sort of alluded to, a very good team and very stacked with talent. But this Hobart side, as you can see, Will Davey cleaning up the scraps there. They've been competitive throughout.
Yeah, and look, I've watched this Hobart team throughout the year, and they're really building towards the future. They've got a good group. They've had some good players that's come up from the domestic competition from last year to really showing some good promise. It will take a little bit more time for them to learn a few more things as Strasma knocks that one down on the layup. But, you know, this Hobart team is going to be really good in the future going forward through to our under-22 program, but let alone the senior program there.
There's Darcy Allen checking in here for the Kings. Of course, the bench getting limited rotations through, but there have been valuable rotations when they've come on through. Everyone from the Kings and everyone from the Phoenix getting a run in this game. 21 points our margin now, 71-50. The Kings looking like they're going to roll on through here to championship success. They're 1 for 1 in championship possession. As Archie Stewart, you've walked in the gym and he's just started throwing shots. Ronnie's realised that the architect is in town.
Yep, absolutely.
As Deng passes that one to Moore, who's had a really nice game himself. And Archie Stewart has had enough. He just said, give that ball to me right now. Pass over there to Xavier, who wants to go himself, does, fades up and undertakes a contact. Big margin there, 23 now, almost a game high margin, and it's pretty much academic from here, Ronald.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just kind of self-management. I just wonder when Anthony Stewart will let some of these younger ones go that haven't seen much court time throughout the year and see if they get a run here this afternoon.
Yeah, he's let every one of them on the court, actually.
Oh,
so
there you go.
They've all had very good minutes.
So hopefully he'll get that secondary unit and give his starters a well-earned rest.
And I tell you what, we might see a dunk here from Deng. Let's see. Couldn't quite get it down. We've had one-handed wham bam jam, thank you ma'am, and a 2K style wham bam jam, thank you ma'am, but nothing of salient power as Rogers now over to Douglas, who looks to go inside himself. Contact was drawn. Now, are they going to call out on the floor or are they going to call out in the shooting? I will pay to see what our referee says as Cooper calls the foul there. That will be on the floor. Substitutions coming in as just double checking that is Campbell Baker heading in there. He's in the 31, not the 0, as was photographed at the start. Ball now through hands of Rogers. Less than 5 minutes remaining in this game. Thank you everyone who's tuned in to our coverage on the West Coast Ball Connection today for the TJBL South Conference Grand Final Gala weekend. Men's competition on day 1. Brought to you on the West Coast Ball Connection by BTAS. As once again Rogers with a foul. Substitution there, Charlie Banks coming in. Zave Clark heading out, and both Clark boys with some serious contributions. Noah fouling out and Zave heading for a well-earned rest.
Yeah, and he's had a pretty good season. We've both seen him in junior and senior competitions, JB, and no, good to see the Clark boys having a bit of a braving out. So it looks like Stewie going with a secondary line-up here, fair to say?
Yes, no, he's pretty much started to run that second unit. He's really given everyone the break that he can as Rogers wants to go himself to Douglas, who's managed to get a nice power move there himself. And Hobart just getting down the floor here for Deng, who couldn't quite catch that one. That's balling into the lap of Chris Simons as Matt McInnes checks in as well. So, as we mentioned, just getting these secondary players in as well. Even young Solomon getting a brief showing on the floor there in the third. So, it will just be a matter of getting through sets here as Tassara, Lennon, Moore, Deng and Davey lead it for Hobart. Darcy Allen stepping back. Now, was that foul on the floor? We'll have a look.
Nah.
Yes, foul on the floor.
Yeah, so just after he's landed, then the hits come. So
easy call.
Yeah, so not a shooting foul.
So, Darcy Allen. Looking to get through hands once again. Austin Douglas, who's been getting in the gym at Swisher, and it's starting to pay off. You can just see the body type changing there.
Absolutely.
As Matty McInnes coming off the bench, looking for the rebound, stripped away by Deng. And that'll be King's ball back on the baseline once again. 3:55 remaining here in the fourth.
Yeah, he's an up-and-about type guy, and an energy guy really as well too, JB. I think I see him at reserves on a Tuesday night. He's always up and about.
Ball through sets of hands once again over to Roger, who misses that. In turn, over to Moore, who's seen some real extended minutes. Charlie Lennon goes all the way. Thought he might have a cheeky turnover dunk there, but a nice little finish for him. 75-54, 21-point margin. Banks now back up the floor with the ball. Looks to get through the defence, does. McInnes back over to Douglas. Wants to go himself. Backs down, creates a space. Unsuccessful. Campbell Roger once again spins inside. Can't get that to fall, but nearly cleans up his own mess as the Hobart guys continue to fight for that ball. Bit of a ball fake. Darcy Allen late on the scene on Will Davey, who manages to clear away and clear through. Kicks over to Lennon, in turn over to Deng, and a nice finish there at the hoop.
Yeah, much better finish from Abiy there. And, you know, really pleased to see him get his opportunity at Division 1 level this year after a year under me. So to build his confidence and get him to a level where he can play Div 1, very happy to see him out on the floor, personally.
Miracles do happen, people, as you've just heard there.
Thank you very much, Jack.
You had some success coaching during the week as well, Ronnie, as Austin Douglas drops down there. And again, I think that just shows the position that a lot of our cams are in now. And that was an alley-oop play that was severely uncalled for, but I think Corey Davey sees the writing on the wall. He's got no adjustments to be made there as we just quickly touch back on that thing with the cams, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Over the last 4 or 5 years, the almost restructuring and redevelopment of the cams, as Darcy Allen gets that ball there. He's open for a shot, doesn't use it. That one's deflected out of bounds, but just the structure and development now and the clear, evident junior pathways through our cams now, you know, allowing opportunities such as that there for Deng to be able to, you know, go from potentially playing a Div 2 team to, you know, be able to step up and comfortably step up into Div 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me as a coach, my job is to mainly, you know, work a player's confidence and try to get them to a level, as that's a travel call. And there's the dunk by Deng.
The dunk by Deng is a two-handed no thank you ma'am, wham, bam, jam.
Yeah, that's it, JB. And look, you know, it's really good now that we have 3 levels of basketball. We have domestic, we have the Shield, we have championship. So really my job in Shield and domestic is really trying to work players up and get them to a level where they can go for these championships, team spots and whatnot. And you see that with all the clubs, though. All the clubs do a terrific job trying to build players up, because we always find a diamond in the rough, so to speak, JB. As a good little play here from the Kings. Good rejection there by Campbell Mounter, who is another kid I coached this year in Shield, and really good to see him getting minutes opportunities here as well, too.
Will Davey from the car park.
Good grief.
Big bombs away there. 18 points our margin, inside 2 minutes here. So just almost letting the clock expire as Roger goes himself. Took hard contact on the drive there from Moore. Took that one right across the shoulder there. Moore arguing the point, but a very easy call to be made there, Ronnie.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty obvious call. I mean, I'll just come off for a game, so it's just, I look at it and go, yeah, that's a foul right there.
Did you ask Eddie Maguire about wearing that prison bar jersey?
Yeah, fair to say I made contact with Melbourne and yeah, just try not to. I thought I'd better come in as
not disturb the peace.
Yes, that's right, Trevor.
You've done well to try and do that anyway, so that's fine.
Thank you very much.
100 seconds remaining in this game here, and Hobart still looking to play out, and they haven't given up in this contest despite the margin. More from the car park. He's trying to get the advantage from the Globe Hotel there at the top of the outlet. 78-59, a 19-point lead here to the Kings, who once they obtain their double-digit lead haven't looked back, as Davey wanted to get that fall. Mounter manages to get that one to drop as well. As we look up there, 17-point margin once again. Just getting my numbers confused. Banks saves that one over to McInnes as Roger wants to go himself. Back to McInnes. Hard foul there in the lane. Unsportsmanlike foul by Davey. A bit of a smile there from both men. An unsportsman there on Davey. That will be his fifth. So he will check out of the game. So there's actually no lineup. Now, are they going to say, is that 2 unsportsmen? They're going to have a look. I don't recall the first one being on Will Davey. We're going to have a look here. I don't recall it. If it is, they're just checking. And if that's his second, he has to leave. I don't recall the first one being... No, so that is it's his fifth. So substitution comes in, but there was an unsportsmanlike earlier in the year. And no, he's leaving the bench, I think. Is he leaving the bench? Is he grabbing his stuff? He is.
He is.
So that first unsportsmanlike must have been on Will Davey. I don't recall I recall there being an unsportsman, but I didn't recall it being on Will, so it was his second. So he has to obviously just duck into the change rooms there for this minute 5 seconds.
Yeah, or he can go to the other court technically.
He can.
As long as he's technically outside. I mean, outside of this venue. So what we mean by outside is basically just go to the other court. If it was in a senior competition, he'd have to
absolutely
leave the building under the terms.
You've got to go. You've got to physically. I know at senior this year, I saw an ejection where the player had to at least be on the other floor. And out of what this building is, just because of the way it's designed. So 18-point margin. Will Davey out on 2 unsportsmanlikes. I didn't think the first unsportsmanlike, I can't recall. There was definitely an unsportsman. I couldn't recall that being on Will Davey. So
Lucas Rodman coming in.
Lucas Rodman heading in, yes.
Another player that I've worked with last year, and again, he's excelled up to this level this year again. So really pleasing to see that he's been on the floor throughout the game to this afternoon. Absolutely,
always in at Swisher, working hard as goes up, forces the defensive stop there, but second chance there, Aussie Douglas gets that one to drop. 20-point margin in the last minute here. And Hobart just wanting to play the clock through and get everything sorted here. As Tassara wanting to go himself, manages to get that back, goes down inside to Mountar. He was fouled and will go to the line. 81-61, 20-point margin here. And Ronnie, while you were on the other side, I did update the folks. Queenstown with both sides through the grand final next weekend.
Lovely.
So
that's what we'd like to hear, JB.
Big heads up to Mum. We will be going for an extra early breakfast next Saturday.
Yes, my word, JB.
Going to have to find someone to hitch a ride up the coast.
Good grief.
So that one drops in.
I'm glad our basketball commitments wind up at the end of the week, JB.
As of tomorrow. This time tomorrow, we will be done, hopefully.
No, we still got senior grand finals. JB. Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Wednesday night we're done. As Mounter couldn't get that to go on that one.
Yeah, so final few seconds winding down here as Hobart want to go to Sarah. Goes over to Moore. He has plenty of space. Puts up the jump shot. Utilising that one. Saved there by Banks, who's been absolutely hassled. He stepped out of bounds. 20.4 remaining here. 81-62 our scoreline. What has been a pretty good day of basketball. This is our only real blowout game.
Yeah, every other game's been pretty close, JB, which has been good.
Obtained some level of excitement. This one not over before it started, but I'd say Kings are a very heavily favoured starter in this one. And they've delivered on that favouritism. Of course, Hobart very competitive. But this is our final game here for day one. The last 14 seconds here. And he's travelled, shuffling of the feet.
Oh, Stewie's giving it to Charlie Banks. Good grief.
Wave by his
let the boy go,
that's
Stewie.
Harsh.
Good. Oh, that's brutal, Stewie. Good grief.
Unbelievable. Bit of Mr. Webb, can you have some decorum for your coach, please? No one can control him, mate. Roadman! One-handed wham, bam, jam. Thank you, ma'am.
The Kings bench love it, JB. Good grief.
And Banks is going to put it up himself. He is.
This time.
And can't make that from long range. So final scores here. Finishing on a Lucas Roadman, who I said I would call if it went down. One-handed wham, bam, jam. Thank you, ma'am. To no avail, though. 17 points the margin. And the Kings, heavy favourites, come in and deliver. They win the Under-18 Div 1 Championship there in a pretty deciding factor and probably our most deciding game all day, Ronald. But, heavily favoured squad after a really good season. Finish off with a grand final win.
Yeah, no, and look, the Kings side in this Under-18 Division 1 competition have been really strong all year, JB. As I said, I've been lucky enough to watch a few games throughout the season, and we know this Kings side has been very, very strong. So, I mean, when you've got the Clark twins, Archie Stewart, Geordie Strasma over there as well too, and and then a few pieces of the other puzzle as well. It's fantastic to see. And Stewie's got a bit of work to do with this group. He always keeps telling me that these guys are aiming to get that state title too later on in September as well too, the Under-18 Under-18 state champ. So this team is not done with yet, but for Hobart Phoenix, they'll look to bounce back and they'll be off to the Under-18 state championships as well too. So from what I've seen, obviously it was just load management and taking care of business there for the Kings and Hobart Phoenix. I'm sure they did put up a good fight in the first half, but the Kings too strong in this one here, JB.
That will wrap us up for the formal commentary side of things. We have Presentation still to go, so
Yep.
we will film.
Gareth's got to MC it.
We will film them, but we will let Gareth go. I think it's time we take the headset off for the day, Ronnie. We will get the footage of this one here. Thank you for joining us live on the West Coast Ball Connection. Over 1,000 live viewers during the day. Pretty regular viewing throughout, but over 1,000 viewers during the day. We trust you enjoyed the coverage across our split streams of the afternoon. On behalf of Ronnie Riggs and Sam, our cameraman, thank you very much for tuning in to the West Coast Ball Connection. This has been day one of the TJBL Southern Conference Grand Final Gala weekend. This is the end of championship coverage for today. We will join you again tomorrow for women's action.